seems as though you can't see me.
What are you talking about?
Can you see me?
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I sure as it can't. Oh, there I am. I see myself now. Sorry, I was just down here getting the small brazier in my tent going tonight. These Athos nights can get very chilled. So, I see that everyone's come back, still hankering for more Dark Sun stories from the Wanderer. I see. Well, it seems as though when we left off, that the clutch had been betrayed by seemingly one of their own. Regnus, i.e. Chance, had absconded with not just some of the party's water, but also a precious relic that had been gifted to Craucus by his Rais, by his honored employer, Iban, as he lay dying. And not only that, but as Craucus himself was beginning to come down with a very nasty case of what seemed to be also the deadly flux that swept through Fort Iron and killed Iban himself. This treachery could not go unavenged, and so the Clutch decided that they would forego their rest for this night and pursue Chance and recover the items that he took and perhaps exact some judgment upon him in the process. So, the last thing we saw from the group, from the Clutch, was Desi making her way into what seemed to be the small cavern that the silkworm had taken Chance into. Because, as you discovered in your pursuit, Chance sort of lost his... for somebody who claimed to be such a lucky individual, seems that Chance's luck ran out. He was captured by the silkworm and seemingly dragged back. Ma'ak used his psionic talents to see the last few moments of one of his shoes that was left behind in the desert sands as he was being dragged down through one of the canyons of the Rocky Badlands to the northeast, to the northeast of Tyr. And you were led to a cavern, a small cavern. Desi made her way in there, into the cavern, stealthily, only to see a hive or see the small cavern filled with silken cocoons of desiccated corpses. And there before her was the writhing form of the giant silkworm, busily cocooning Chance into a husk. And the last thing that Desi began to attempt was to slather, or at least touch, the tip of the silkworm's tail with one of the, or several of the poisoned, corrupted feathers of the Orcatha that you had encountered some time ago, hoping that perhaps it would hopefully kill the worm, at least allow some opportunity to retrieve Chance and your belongings from its maw. So, before we dive straight into it, we should probably do a little bit of bookkeeping. First, does anybody have any announcements that they'd like to make before we get moving on? I will take that as a no. I do have one announcement myself. As Aaron Campbell, not the Wanderer, I am going to be appearing next week at GalaxyCon in Raleigh, North Carolina. The convention, it looks like it has a great lineup of guests and celebrities, of course. So unfortunately, my commission list is all filled up, but I'm going to be selling an exclusive poster of John Constantine at the event through my rep Cadence Comic Art, and so if you by chance are one of our listeners who might also be in the Raleigh area next week, get your buttocks over there, say hi. And other than that, the other thing that I'm going to say is that tonight, just a little presage or preface, we're probably going to be using Fantasy Grounds a little bit more in the way that it was intended to be used. So we might get a little bit crunchy because we've yet to actually use this in this manner. So bear with us. We are young baby puppies learning how to use this properly. But I've got a couple original maps that I've created for today. Some interesting encounters. It might get very disturbing, so there's your warning. But if you're here, I assume you like disturbing things to begin with. So, okay. So unless anybody else has anything they'd like to add, do we have any banter that we want to get out of the way?
I want to say happy birthday, Ponder. He might
Ponder?
be
To who?
yeah, my friend Ponder.
Okay.
Like
Yeah,
ponderously?
Ponder, if you're not, this should also be like a good way to extort your friend into becoming at least a follower, if they are not already.
Yeah, happy birthday, you owe us.
Yes. Everything here is transactional, damn it. As is Dark Sun. So, okay. So, having said that, are we ready? Are you ready to dive in?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
So Desi, the rest of the group, you have gathered outside the mouth of the cavern.
I think that's another comment.
Dawn is beginning to approach. If you look out to the east, you can just begin to see just the faintest hint of light coming up over the horizon, which really is the crest of the canyon that you find yourself within. Also, I should note for Char, who has traveled through this region quite a lot, you've never actually gone down this canyon before. This is not a spur of these canyons in this area of the Rocky Badlands that the dwarves of Kled have ever trafficked in. So you're sort of in, or you're completely in uncharted ground. In addition, the rest of you stand staring into the mouth. Hold on just a second. I'm sorry. It appears we're having a little bit of some technical weirdness going. Does anybody else hear like some audio artifacting happening?
Is it a swamp cooler?
Not this time. I don't think.
No, it's
no. I'm hearing anything.
Okay. Here,
Maybe it's just
let
you. I'm
me,
not hearing
I'll
anything
turn off
weird
mine
either.
just in case.
Let me connect my headphones and.
Is that better?
That sounds
Just a
good.
second.
Yeah, I think you're all right.
Yeah, I'm just getting like some weird artifacting on my end. It's causing me a little bit of.
It might be because you have two things open.
Yeah, let me.
Your eyes and
here,
your
I'm-
heart.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm drinking whiskey tonight, just regular whiskey.
Yeah. What? Like, as I figure out this technical shit, like, why doesn't everybody go around and say what you're drinking tonight?
Flying Embers.
Marijuana.
Wait, you both spoke at the same time. Emelie first.
Watered down Mamawana.
A what?
Mamawana, it's wine from the Dominican Republic that's been steeped in like special bark. I've been having quite a bit for some time. Can you tell?
Yeah. Absolutely. That bark wine. And you're drinking that cider, right, Joe? Or is that the kombucha?
It's the sugar-free Bucha Flying Embers in honor of my almost flightless bird.
I have a cider tonight, Reds.
Reds is good.
It's my favorite, actually. I mean, I like it almost even more than Stella's cider. When I like that quite a bit.
I like
this
red
has
cider.
become my new favorite. I don't like their spin-offs. They've got like weird ones with like strawberry and black cherry and stuff. I don't care for those, but the regular Reds, awesome.
I'm drinking the blood of the unvaccinated.
Oh
from Starbucks.
yeah,
Yum.
It's a real joke. Haha, so funny.
Lovely.
You know, I know where you live, dude.
You have no idea where I live. You have the city.
Mark knows wherever. Mark
Albuquerque, New
Mark is
Mexico.
Santa
It's a
Claus.
small town.
Yeah.
Yeah, all you do is just wander around a little while. You'll see somebody you know.
I'll just ask people on the street, where's that asshole live? And they'll go, oh, he's down the street.
Oh, hey, Mark, how are you today? It sounds like you're in a good mood. That's nice.
So I'm drinking. I've got a lineup. So I've got some wine that I'm drinking, which is our local wine, our local liquor store here. We belong to like a little wine club, so we get a couple wines a month. I am drinking something called Leogate. Now, at the bottom of this is a word that I'm not exactly sure what it is they're trying to spell. I recognize most of the letters, but I am going to assume that says I'm going to say Batman.
Batman?
Batman, because it's oh my god, like sorry, it looks like it says Batmain. So I guess if I go with the Spanish pronunciation, would be Batmain. And then I have a whiskey lined up, Koval, which is something that I just picked up, and it is lovely. A lovely single barrel rye whiskey.
I love a lovely whisk.
Okay.
Do you have a vomit bucket ready if you mix all that alcohol?
Yeah, it's true. He loves to mix.
Oh yeah, I'm a pro. Okay, so, and by that I mean high functioning alcoholic. So.
Well, your function level went up at least.
Yeah. Okay, so we find ourselves in the maw of this fairly small cavern that Desi has found herself in. You extract one of the corrupted Orcatha feathers that theoretically should be slathered in poison, which you are attempting to rub against the tail of the silkworm that so far has not taken notice of you. You seem to be very much in stealth mode. And when last we left off, you had rolled a 15, which I said is a perfect cliffhanger because it is neither great nor neither bad as a roll. And so you begin to slowly creep forward. Outside the cavern, is there anything that the group of you want to do?
Well, sure. I don't think Ma'ak would have allowed Desi to go in unaccompanied. I think once he notices that she's snuck on in there, he's probably just a few paces behind her. But as we're starting to do this, I am going to be changing which of my psionic abilities I'm going to be using. So I'm no longer going to be able to switch between who I'm mind linked with. We're still mind linked for the remainder of the hour or whatever, but I can only have two people. So I am going to set Desi would be the default, and I think I'd probably make the other one Char. And then
Okay.
as hopefully Desi's alerting me that this is happening one way or another, Ma'ak is getting ready for combat, and that means that I have changed my psionic discipline to Sixth Sense, meaning I will get advantage on my initiative roll, and then we will go from there. So
Okay.
Ma'ak is preparing for battle, which includes preparing his chachkachas and his githka, and he's just a few paces behind Desi, waiting to see if this poison works.
Give me a stealth check.
Sure thing.
Before entering the cave, I would.
Oof, not so great.
I
Only
was
a
just
7.
gonna say I would put my hand on you and give you guidance.
Oh, thank you. So
Doesn't
that
really
is
help with a roll that low, probably, but maybe.
What is guidance give me? Is it +1 or
D4 added to the roll.
Excellent. I could use it. Let's see. And then add another 3, so that brings me to a 10.
Okay.
Which, oh, by the way, guys, last show, we forgot that a lot of people can't see what we're doing, so make sure that you announce your roll after you make it, because otherwise we all pretend like we know what it is, but the listener has no idea.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
We have to say,
Hey,
I roll a 10.
that's
Sorry,
some
Radio City.
solid info.
That is good.
Radio.
Now, and it might actually be something where we, in our window where we show our map, where we actually reduce that so you can actually see what's happening on the die roll.
It
But
might be handy.
but probably it'll be so small that
Yeah.
it would still be impossible to read. voice
And again,
chat.
Call 'em out.
So,
Not everyone may be watching Twitch. They might be listening to Twitch. They might be listening to this on a podcast sometime later. We just need to be able to announce what the number is so that everybody understands what's informing your next interpretation.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all.
yeah. So just as soon as you roll, then we'll just say as soon as you roll, announce your number.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
Ma'ak has an adjusted 10 with the gentle persuasion of Geza Akos. And however, it's still not quite enough. You walk in, you have to crouch because the opening of the cavern itself is very small. So you have to crouch and kind of maneuver yourself through the opening, and in doing so you really kind of move with just as much noise as you would normally kind of walking. You don't dislodge anything, you don't make any overt noises, you don't do anything clumsy, but you're not being quiet, basically. As you do that, as you start to enter into the cavern, Desi, you can definitely hear the sound of Ma'ak coming behind you. And as you do
I will say over the connection, stop moving, stop.
Okay. I would stop immediately.
Okay.
So
And
hopefully we
in
can...
that...
Sorry, go ahead.
No. Yeah, say what you're going to say.
No, I was just going to say, hopefully in that moment, the silkworm, even if it had been alerted to me, maybe it doesn't see me and I can stay hidden and it can go back to what it was doing. Presumably wrapping Chance up more in its webbing, or what's going on in here? Can we tell?
Well, give me just a second, because I need to make a roll for the silkworm. Okay, let's see.
Mark and Rob, can you just add a couple of underscores before your character names for visibility?
You just need more, even... Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit more.
Here, that should do it.
Okay. So, there is a moment where the silkworm is busy encasing Chance, and it suddenly pauses. And it straightens up. You see its head rise up. And you can see strands of kind of gooey silk coming from its mouth straight down to where Chance is. You can see the tension in the lines. And it just pauses, and its head slowly sways, kind of back and forth, like almost as if it's trying to sniff or search or see. It's hard to tell. You're not sure what senses a silkworm actually has or uses. But after a moment, after a really tense moment where you hold your breath and wait, it returns back to what it's doing. As it returns back to what it's doing, however, and you begin to creep forward to execute your plan, suddenly from overhead, you hear a scraping sound, and then light streams in. And you look up, and you can see that there is a aperture in the ceiling that is being uncovered.
From the outside? From the outside of the
From
cavern?
above. From above. It's up in the middle of the cavern, right in the center at its highest point, and you can hear someone up there grunting as they pull some lid from this aperture in the ceiling of the cavern.
Through the link that I have with Ma'ak, I would like to ask Ma'ak to ask Ja'al. It's Ja'al, right? You're with
You can
Ja'al?
speak to Char directly.
Oh!
The three of us
Then
are linked. Yeah.
Ja'al, there is someone coming through the top. Can you see on the top of the cavern?
I can see the light coming through, but I don't have any clue who or what it might be. But
Yeah,
Can
well,
the
you're
bird
not
sign up?
Well, you're not in the cavern, but from the outside where you're at right now, the side of the canyon is sort of a sheer cliff that rises up probably 60 to 75 feet. And you certainly can't see anything up there.
can
Can the birdman fly?
what did you just say, Desi?
The birdman, can he fly up?
What if Geza and I, since we're both what is the term? Fire avatar.
Exarchs.
Exarchs.
Well, you're both exarchs.
Why
You're a
don't-
fire, he's an air.
Why don't we team up and blow a fireball through where the silkworm is? So because if Chance gets hurt, who cares? We just want our things back, and we can and now that there's an opening at the top, the fire. If we shoot a fireball, it won't blow back at us, so we'll go out that way. And if we kill the silkworm, we have food because we cooked it with a fireball.
That's a brilliant idea.
Except it would kill me.
What?
Inside, Desi, you can hear a voice now saying,
Get
"Yes,
the hell out.
master. Yes, master, the hunter has found a new one. Bring it in." Is a separate voice.
From above.
From above, yeah. You hear two distinct voices. One says, "Yes, master. The hunter has brought back a new one." And then a separate voice, sort of lilting voice, says, "Bring it back.
Sounds.
I will nullify it." And in that moment, the silkworm suddenly just flops to the ground, completely immobile. And
I'm waiting for you.
well, that's the first thing that you see happen.
I will
Thank you.
run to Chance and just in his cocoon. Well, I will call psychically to Ma'ak and say, quick, help me. I want to drag out the body of Chance. And looking for any things that he may have dropped. If there was anything around, particularly the artifact or water.
Give me a dex save.
Oh dear.
And did Ma'ak hear those voices too, or just Desi?
No, because you're at the mouth of the cave, so yeah, you heard them too.
Were they speaking common or what? I mean, I assume it was common if I understood it, but
Yeah, I was speaking common.
okay.
The other voice, the sort of lilting, hissy voice, was speaking very broken common.
Desi's dexterity check is 15. Which
Okay.
is
As soon as you,
my lucky
as soon as you rush in to try to get to Chance, the cavern itself, which is completely filled with these cocoons and this silk, suddenly just catches hold of you, and you take 1 step, 2 step, and your legs are completely encased in sticky silk, and you suddenly can't move any further. At which point, you can see Chance begin to levitate up from the ground towards the aperture.
Shit.
And you can hear the silk itself stretches and tears and snaps until he's free and he's floating up towards that aperture.
So on
and
the
it is
outside,
out of reach. I cannot slash at it with a wrist razor.
It's across the room. It's more than 15 feet away from you, where Chance was. Now,
In that
jumping.
case,
Hold that thought. Jumping outside. What were you saying, Geza?
when Char says we should team up with our magics, I just say, I'm tapped. I will fly up there and see what I can see, but I can't do anything beyond cantrips today.
Yeah. And
So,
you know that it'll take you a couple turns to get up there because the cliff face is well over 50 feet high.
Okay, well, I'm gonna do what I can as quickly as I can.
Okay, Geza alights off the ground, flaps his wings, buffeting the ground, dust plumes come up, and you go up 50 feet and find a small outcropping that you can perch against until you can take off and make it the rest of the distance. The rest of you. Ma'ak, you also see this happening inside the cavern.
Okay, so I see both Desi getting trapped in the webbing, and I see the cocoon with Chance levitating up, but I don't see the source of who's levitating it yet, right? I need to
from your vantage point, no, you can't actually see the aperture. You just see the light coming down.
I will. Well, I mean, Ma'ak's number one priority is to get Desi out of that webbing. So he would move basically. Suddenly, he finds her like right on behind her, working with all four of his arms with his weapons to basically cut the strands that are binding her, and with like two of his arms pulling her back so that he can get her out of the cave. That's once he'll decide what he wants to do after he frees her. For now, that's all. That's
Okay. Give me a quick dex save.
Sure. Hopefully I know that this is dangerous and I'm being careful, but you know, I'm concerned, so I'm gonna be working fast. I'm sure.
Emelie dropped out of the.
Oh, great.
Oh shoot, we lost Emily.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get her back in a second, but
Okay.
just we'll reiterate when she gets back out here. But the second that you step into the silk, because she's several feet in, and you actually have to step in to get to her. And
Gotcha.
you hope that just by placing one foot, but as soon as that foot goes in, it's stuck. And you try as you might to to yank your foot, but right now you can't get yourself free. And going forward any further is just going to get you mired more.
Yeah,
in
no,
the silk webbing.
I am not interested in doing that. I mean, if I'm trapped, it's the next priority is to not let us be discovered by whoever is the other psionicist in this room. I'm guessing that there's another psionicist around here somewhere.
Well, you can now look up and you can see the aperture. You only see one figure above, a hunched figure silhouetted by the night sky above, and it's standing there just kind of waiting, holding what looks to be a length of rope in its hand.
Okay. Well, I definitely don't want to be discovered. Can I... You said a silhouette. Can I guess at its race?
Yeah, give me an investigation check.
All right. I will do my best. Oh, I'm actually pretty good at investigation. Okay, here we go. Ooh, and I roll a 24.
Okay. Definitely looks to be human.
All right.
Male. Theoretically. Bald. Very slim. Almost emaciated, it seems. Wearing nothing but a loincloth. Also appears to have shackles around its wrists, or perhaps his wrists. You can't see below the knees from this vantage point, so you're not sure. But you do see a chain that runs from the middle point between the wrists. So there's a chain that links the manacles together, and the midpoint of that chain is one that goes down towards the feet. So you assume that it is manacled hands and feet. Then hear real quick. Just real quick. You do hear one more sound from the other voice from beyond the aperture. You can't see the individual, but you can hear them say, "Bring him back. Once you have retrieved, you know where to place him."
Okay. Now, is it fair to say that this presumably enslaved person is the psionicist doing this levitation act? Is that can Ma'ak tell that from what he's seeing here?
Arcane check.
Sure thing. Because I might risk something if I think, ooh, nice. I roll a 22 on my Arcana.
If that individual is a psionicist, then yes, because you know that you have to maintain contact for something like that, like visual contact. If, however, the other individual is an arcanist, then maybe not.
Okay. As we're stuck in this webbing, very quickly, Ma'ak will have a quick conversation with Desi and say, I believe I could attempt to enlist that slave's help in retrieving the item from Chance. The question is, will he alert his master? If I do so, do you want me to try?
You're muted, Des.
Is anyone outside moving? Have we got the Birdman on top? I say it is worth a
Well,
try.
you're inside.
I don't think we
cavern.
know.
Yeah, this conversation is strictly between you and Ma'ak right now.
Try
You don't
it.
know outside of the mind link. Do you still have mind link with?
Well,
people
yeah, I
outside?
do. Okay, so currently, this is what's about to happen. Currently, I am mind linked between Desi and Cha'ar. So technically,
Okay.
Cha'ar could shout to Geza something, but right now we have no idea what Geza's doing. But what is about to happen is Ma'ak will end the. He's basically switching off Sixth Sense, going back to Mind Link, ending the link he has with Cha'ar, and initiating it with the slave he can now see.
I would
Okay.
say you have to tell the people outside what is happening first, and then try it.
I don't know if
Tell
we
Cha'ar
have.
every-
I don't know if we have time. I think Ma'ak doesn't think we have time, right? Because I mean, it's only a
Would have
moment
done
or
it by
two.
now.
I mean, I'm just saying. Do you? All right. I'm gonna say basically.
You have it. Okay, real quick. You have a sense that you have one more round before Chance is at the aperture because.
Okay. All right. Then I would
of
take
the
a
height
round.
of the ceiling.
Okay, I would take a round. You would get a signal from Cha'ar, or Cha'ar would get a signal from Ma'ak. Say, I'm about to end Mind Link. Please continue your assertion of who is on top of this structure, and then the Mind Link. Or I'm gonna say I'm going to attempt to contact one of the Sionis' slave inside, and then the Mind Link ends, and I will reach out Mind Link very gently as I can, not trying to jar this new person, but basically saying, "Greetings to you, practitioner of the way. Do not be alarmed." Do I get a response from him?
Okay, so no matter what, they can respond.
Yeah, Mind Link is basically almost like shouting. It's just like psionic
Okay.
shouting. You cannot refuse. Now, Meta Concert, which is the higher thing that we do when we share
Yeah.
memories and stuff like that, that you technically can make a saving throw if you don't want to be a part of it. Like Chance
Okay.
got the opportunity to do that. But with Mind Link, no, you don't get a chance. I can basically just contact you if I can see.
Okay, the response you get is, "Who's there? Who is that?"
Do not be alarmed, my friend. I am here to help you. I will help you and my companions deal with your slavery issue. If you will help us, we will free you and anyone else that you would like us to.
Who are you?
I am
Who are you?
Ma'ak Ka'ari of the Kanakop. I am the bringer of friends from the Hellbreaker Pack. I am a Thry-Kreen practitioner of the way. You
Okay,
have one of our... sorry, go ahead.
No. Finish what you're gonna say.
You have one of our companions in your in that cocoon there. We require him back.
Okay.
Or
All right,
actually,
so
Ma'ak
I
might
roll-
say it.
I-
Hey, we require something he has. Is probably what he would say.
I I rolled a natural 1 for this individual, so this can go. I'm trying to decide which direction this should go, and I think that I will take the path of fear and the path of desperation. You immediately hear him physically yelp above. I will give you a chance to respond to his shriek of terror. His physical shriek of terror,
His physical,
which has
shriek
the
of
potential
terror.
to alert many people for quite a long ways away.
Damn it. Then I will I guess we're rolling initiative because I'm gonna have to use
Well, you can still
Psionic.
talk to him. I'm still going to let you continue to talk to him. So
Oh.
you have a chance. You can say something else.
okay.
He has physically shrieked out loud, not in the psychic space. So
We cannot help you if you alert your master to us prematurely. Do not be alarmed. We do not mean you any harm.
I am enslaved for these many months. And then you hear a voice from above say, "Why are you hissing like a worm? Why are you hissing like a bazrag?" What do I say? What do I say? What do I do?
Be at peace. Tell him that you believe the silkworm is waking up early, and that you lost your grip on your levitation just momentarily. Return.
My levitation! His levitation!
Fuck. Basically, there's the Thright Queen equivalent of the word "fuck." Probably just it reverberates over this psychic space, and so your master is a spellcaster.
He's much more. He's Yonti.
Okay. Okay.
Please, you must
do not
help us.
We will help you, but for now, play along like everything is normal, and I will maintain this meta concert with you, and you can inform us at your leisure everything we need to know to help you. For now,
You must. I don't know what to say. You must tell me. You must tell me what to say.
we will stay in concert. And actually, if you want, Aaron, I'll do my best to speak for him. If you want to say, I'm speaking as this guy. If the whoever this dude is, I mean, I don't know how familiar this psionicist is with the meta concert, but in theory, he might even know I can share memories, I can share images of things I've seen, I can share a picture of my master or any of the abilities he can do, a map of the place, for instance, anything like that we can get out of him is what. But for now, it's basically like business as usual. Do what you would normally do, like when the silkworm catches someone. So in theory, I mean, sorry, Chance. We'll do our best, but I do not want Yonti sorcerer or whatever is up there to know that we're here. So for now, it's business as usual for him. Okay, and if you want, I'll speak in his voice if you want me to.
Yeah, I like that idea. So let's do that. So you hear the other individual coming back, and he says, "Why are you shrieking like a ghosal?"
Forgive me, Master. I believe this one still lives. And hopefully at this point he
still lives. He would be nothing to us if he was dead.
I beg 1,000 apologies, Master. And with that, I suppose, I mean, am I seeing through this guy's eyes? What do I know based on what I'm, I don't want to.
Can you see through his eyes?
I can see what he shares with me. So if he wants to, it's really, I'm sure he's terrified. So it's fine.
Yeah, he's too broken up to be able to have that kind of cognizance to share what he sees. It's more just blurry images. He gets hit really hard, and you feel it in your psychic space, and you see it overhead as he collapses down to the edge of the aperture, and you hear the voice say, "Stop fooling! Bring him back!"
Right away, Master, right away. And I'll encourage this guy who, can I get his name? Or what should I call you, friend?
Bap.
App. All right, App.
Bap. B-A-P. His name is Bap.
Great. Another word a Thright Queen could never say.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah.
Bap. Do as your master commands and get out of his sight as quickly as possible. Drag the body of our friend where it needs to go.
Okay. He says, I have to take it back into the lair with the queen.
All right. Can you find a place between, as he's doing this, I assume, can you find a place where you can have just a few moments of solitude before you must present Chance to the queen?
Yes, he will go down into the canyon from here, and I will have a few moments.
Very well, very well. All is well. Do not be alarmed. Let me know when you think that it is safe, and I will direct you to do something important. And hopefully we fast forward to there.
I think he will. I think he will leave as soon as he is up here, and he no longer has to concentrate on levitating the body.
Very well, very well. Then we'll just be patient and let that happen.
Okay.
So, and then as you know, when hopefully this opportunity comes to where he has a few moments that he could like search the body, for instance, I will visualize the cylinder that we're looking for. Search the body of this person and discover this. You do not want this falling into the hands of your queen.
Okay, and it's a statuette, not the cylinder, but
oh, the statuette, yeah.
So,
even easier. Then.
Yeah.
Even easier. Okay.
Yeah, and it's a dog-headed statue. I don't think I described it before. It's just a humanoid figure with a dog head, and it has spines on its back. In low relief. I mean, they're not standing out. They're laid down along the spine of the figure.
Weird.
It's hard to say exactly what this is supposed to be depicting. It has very broad shoulders, very muscular. So it's hard to say exactly what kind of creature this is supposed to be representing. But then again, the deserts of Athos tend to spawn interesting species spontaneously. So it could be anything.
Well, maybe I'll get to hunt one day.
Having said that, a few moments go by, and Bap says, I think he's gone. I think it's safe.
Well done. Then it should be very simple to discover this. It should be very easy to locate. He will either have it on his person or not. Please do your best to find this dog-headed creature statue on this body.
Okay. He says, yes, I see it. There's also some water skins, but they've been punctured. They're empty.
Then leave them. Thank you. For now, that statue is the key to everything. Please do your best to hide it from being discovered and continue your duties as required.
He says, I will. Wait, he's calling me. I must go.
We will stay in contact. I will. I will be here with you until we see each other in person, Bap. Do not be afraid.
He says, but do not follow me directly. The tower. I must go. Find the tower. I'm sorry. I must go.
All right, Bap. I will find you in the tower. And in the meantime, hopefully we've managed to actually physically free ourselves from this webbing in real time.
Yeah, I mean, without the silkworm is still unconscious, and so you're able to cut your way free. It takes some time.
And
you basically end up completely covered in this gooey, nasty, sticky substance, and so it's like getting sap on your fingers. Your hands become black very quickly. Everywhere it touches becomes black very quickly. You'd realize it's going to probably take a lot of effort to remove and clean yourself of this shit.
Well, maybe the poison Desi put on that worm is doing its job. Maybe the worm won't wake up. But do we want to kill it before we leave, Desi?
I want to gather as much silk as I can.
Well, you're doing a good job of that.
Well,
I'm
okay,
gonna
so
I'm gonna just roll around.
you have a hard time sort of understanding how this silk is actually harvested. The husks that you see around, when you first entered the room and you thought you saw all of these cocoons that must have contained the desiccated corpses, the husks or the cocoons that actually do contain desiccated corpses give me Yeah, give me an investigation check for those.
Oh, I just logged back in after I got booted. Let's see.
Big money. Big money.
Investigation.
Oh,
Oof. I rolled a 12.
12.
close.
I guess
to
the
one.
best that you can the best that you can figure looking at them is the ones that seem the most obvious, which are that they seem to have been here for a very long time. There are a lot of other husks in this room, though, towards the back, like kind of scattered through, that are busted and contain nothing. So, take from that what you will.
Well, I can't imagine no use for any of this stuff. So, I mean, for him, it's not particularly valuable.
Yeah.
It's not like we can eat it. But I guess maybe they use some kind of, cotton candy method, right? Where they just take.
I mean, the thing is, like, every time you attempt to gather up, you just get stuck again.
Yeah. Okay.
And you have to go through the process of extricating yourself.
Yeah, well, maybe, like you said, maybe over time the stickiness diminishes, and so like old silk is handleable. But for now, Ma'ak does not care. He wants to get Desi out of that cavern and rejoin the companions outside.
I have many regrets.
I mean, we're not killing the silkworm, right? We're leaving it lie. So I think we're just regrouping, and I want to update the group on everything that I've learned, especially about BAP, who I am still in contact with, by the way. That will be indefinite. I will continue to pay the meta concert, which sucks, but I'll keep doing it. So, so basically, next hour I owe another 2 is the point.
Okay, so you make your way back out of the cavern, regroup with the rest. Geza is up on the side of the cliff, still making his way up to the top.
Can I see?
I'm going to give you
though.
Yeah. I mean, and of course, like the rest of the group tells you, like Geza's making his way up, so you can look up and you can see just his silhouette. I mean, you probably still have like an hour and 45 minutes or so until dawn. So it's still really dark and it's fucking frigid as shit right now. This is the coldest time of night.
Yeah. All I need to do is see him, though. I'm just ending. Sorry. Desi loses meta concert just for a moment, and Geza gets it instead. And I'll say, Geza, be warned. There are Yanti about. Snake people have taken slaves, and they are doing something horrible with the people that the silkworm captures. I do not know what, but I am in contact with one of the slaves. I'm in contact with one of the slaves who I have promised to free.
So everybody,
if we can free him, we must. Should I continue to the aperture?
Yes, just be cautious. There are Yanti about.
How strong is Mock? Can Mock throw me a la?
I'm not
Mock's not strong. Craucus is Craucus is who you want to go to for strength.
Exactly.
Can Craucus do a fastball special with me so I can be thrown up there, and while I'm being thrown, I can help?
You would take falling damage, unless you were caught by Geza. But Geza doesn't have the ability to carry more weight.
He can't throw me up like on top.
I mean,
it
as
would
much
be
as
a really high difficulty challenge would be my guess.
That would probably be like a very high difficulty acrobatics challenge.
For him on accuracy of throwing, and for you on acrobatics to land.
And what happens if it doesn't work out? Do I die?
Possible death?
I think I might throw you like into the wall.
Or you would just clatter down the hillside and fall into a crumpled mess.
I mean, we're not in
the canyon.
I'm sorry, we're not in a rush. So if you want, we could climb.
Grapple up.
I mean, Thrycreen hate climbing, but I have a way.
I have to interrupt because I've been drinking just a lot of water recently, so I need a bio break.
Okay.
I can hear you guys, so continue to plan your strategy and talk.
Okay,
And I'll be right back.
so one thing.
Go relieve myself in the desert.
Cool. I forgot that Craucus had thought Desi was like the Paragon, and so I forgot that I have to speak with a French accent.
So did I, briefly.
Well, because it came out really like a very drunk person trying to do Arnold Schwarzenegger. But if you want, I can try to toss you. That
Dwarf tossing is always fun. So, if I wasn't gonna die, I would say let's risk it because the rolls of the dice have been so arbitrarily
You will
either
not die.
1s or 20s.
no.
You will. I don't like to metagame, but I think you will take grave injury. Unless, are you specialized in acrobatics?
I am. Well, you're not here, so shut up.
Being there, though, I would say I do not think we need to risk it. We are not in. There is not special circumstances where.
But aren't there a bunch of snake wizards up there?
Craucus starts
Yeah.
walking towards Cha'ar and picks him up to get like the feel of him.
Lower and to the left.
How
But if I understand
how
the
heavy are
situation,
you?
Mark, how are we planning to get out of this? Are you going to tell the slave to meet us at a certain location?
Well, he said he needed to go to the tower, so we need to find where that is.
So, do we want to just wait for them to head to the tower and we just follow them stealthily, or do we want to like try and free the slaves
We don't
now?
know what the tower is.
Yeah,
we
we
need
don't know
more
how to-
information.
We don't know how to
Yeah.
get there
He-
yet, but
Well,
hopefully. Oh, sorry.
specifically, Baps said, "Do not follow him.
Mm-hmm.
Find the tower."
But I'm still in. Now that we're connected, distance should not matter as long as we're on the same plane of existence. Bap and I can continue to communicate, and so I'm hoping that when he has some downtime, or at least, I mean, we're not in a rush, right? I'm not in a hurry to chase. If we kind of got what we needed, we just need to get our hands on that item now, and we need to make good on freeing Bap. So.
I'm
You ask
still unclear
now?
on what sort of threat the snake people pose. The immediacy of that threat.
Yeah, we don't either, other than I think we don't want to be discovered by them since they're capturing live people to do something horrible with them. Probably. I'm guessing it's something horrible. It's probably not something nice. So, I don't know what I can't imagine Ma'ak knows more about the Yanti than just legend or reputation or whatever. I don't think he knows what they're for.
I have an idea.
Can I sorry, what's that, Crocus?
Me and Geza have tracked before. Now, this would be the wise thing. He scouts ahead, and we trail behind. You see, it is hard for me to stay stealthy because of my size.
Yes,
Now, if
and
we
we do
wish
not
to-
want to be discovered.
If we wish to take them by surprise, we have to follow them.
But we need to figure out where this tower is so we can rendezvous and retrieve the statue. And we do not have a lot of time because we are all dehydrating by the moment.
Yes, of course. And so at that point,
Ask
sorry.
if you are in contact with him still, can you ask him exactly where the tower is and how fast he can get there?
I was just about to. Let me do my best. Let's see. Hopefully,
Yeah,
Bap can tell
and
us what we
let
need
me
to
also
know. to find
light.
him.
Let me light this fire under y'all right now. As soon as sunrise happens, we will begin a new 24-hour cycle, which means everyone has to give me, well, except for Ma'ak, but everybody else has to give me exhaustion checks because you did not receive your adequate allotment of water or rest the prior day.
Okay, then if we're all except for Gaza, he's up climbing up the mountainside, right? Flying. If we're dehydrated and the water skins are empty and we're hungry, why don't we kill the silkworm and eat it? Because insects are mostly water, and that should be able to rehydrate us and give us protein.
I kind of like that idea, actually.
and that'll give us enough meat to take with us as well, because it's obviously a big friggin' worm. I mean, I don't want to kill something just for the sake of killing it, but we can't risk facing these snake people that we don't know if we're hungry and thirsty.
I vote kill the worm.
And the cavern will provide us protection from the sun as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Krakus starts a
Alright.
mini chant.
Keep in mind
Kills the worm.
any melee combat that you intend to do will require you to go through the silk.
Well, I have fire spells, so I can burn through them.
Okay. So okay,
Right. Or
so,
we can try to lure it out, I suppose.
No, we do not want to lure it
Well,
out.
that would
'cause
make
then
too
it
much
will
noise.
have-
We wanted it isolated in a controlled environment, right?
Yes, we want
And
it in an
unconscious.
environment, and 2, it can fly. We do not have that advantage.
All right. Good point.
It can fly?
Yes.
Why don't we put a rein and a saddle on this thing and just fly to where we need to go?
New plan!
Ride the worm! Ride
Hey,
the worm!
hey, Mock, do you speak silkworm?
I don't. I don't, in fact. Although, actually, Thrycreen do not ride mounts. We find that distasteful. So,
Oh, shucks,
I don't
it
think
looks
I'd
like-
ride.
He does
going
not
back
like
to
to
battle.
wiggle between his legs.
Char is a believer of you never turn down a good mount.
Bonus XP.
Nice.
Woo! Character development.
Oh. Crocus looks at him interestingly.
Krakus does have good fingers.
All right, so I guess we'll wait to. I'm still in contact with Geza. At this point, I'm still in contact with Geza and Bap. So Geza, we are just. I'm updating you. We're thinking about slaying the worm and using its meat and water to sustain us before we launch our next assault.
Yeah, and at this point too, Geza, you've managed to make it to the top of the canyon, and you can now see that where you alight on the rim of the canyon itself is a high point, and then it drops in elevation dramatically on the other side. You can look down, and you can now see where the aperture was. It's been closed up again by Bab. It's just a large, like it's a big, broad, like it's hard to tell exactly what it's made of. It looks like leather strapped on side, like strapped onto something, creating a circle, and then a large stone is placed on top of that to hold it in place. You can then see, heading off towards the south, a well-trod path that leads off and then suddenly goes down into a crevice. A very narrow canyon that snakes back and forth, winds in on itself. So probably some kind of like really narrow, deep canyon, probably hollowed out by the wind over years and years and years. At the same time, and I'm not going to make you roll for this because it's very noticeable now, as the sun begins to rise in the east, you can see that there is, in fact, the ruins of a tower to the east. Not very far, probably several hundred yards to the east. You can see this, the ruins of this tower atop the rim of the canyon. There's a whole lot of chatter happening in the chat right now. I kind of feel like we should be doing this chatter over in the Twitch, because nobody knows what anyone's saying.
No, this is all just very perverted roleplay. Like, this has nothing to do with the game. This is a whole other scene, man.
A pause real quick because I'm going to read this. Char says, now he's span French, question mark? Crockett says, literally one OPF, the hardest, most embarrassing things. Char says, LOL. Crockett says, the drinking is helping one and hindering the other.
Yeah.
Char says,
these are our
am I being too granular about stuff?
Cool, this is what people are
Just let me
tuning in
know and
for.
I'll shut up.
This is the
Desi
secret.
says, doing
These are
great.
secrets.
That's a
I'm
very
just gonna
helpful
talk
suggestion.
over your disclosing our secrets.
Yeah, thank you.
So I'm gonna ASMR.
We have to ASMR
disruption.
the shit out of Aaron.
I'm gonna disrupt with ASMR.
It's like Fight Club, dude.
Wait,
The
do I have
first rule
to do?
of
Do I
private chat.
have to do reverse ASMR?
No, you should be
No.
DMing, sir.
I know, but you know, I
Don't
kind
worry
of feel
about it.
like our audience is. I kind of feel like our audience is missing out on some.
We're gonna
quality
establish a
content right
secret, separate chat channel that Aaron is not invited to.
Hey,
Anyway.
I just want.
We can call that the
So,
in or
okay.
off channel.
When I
Having
cross
said
the hill
that-
and I see all of these paths, I choose to take none of them. And I go down to the aperture, which has been closed and has a rock placed on top of it, and I want to see if I can move this rock.
Okay. Give me a strength check.
Sure.
Or athletics. You could give me an athletics check if you're good on that.
I'm not. But I rolled a 19.
19.
Hey, nice.
You can roll. You can roll the stone off of the disc, the leather disc.
Well, that is how a clever bird would do it.
Yeah.
Who's a pretty bird?
I'm a pretty bird and a clever bird. I roll the rock off, and then I will pull this aperture open however I can.
All right. I mean, yeah. Underneath that, it's just a. I mean, it could pass as a shield, a leather shield, basically set over it. It's very light. Once you get that off, you can take it off very easily.
Ma'ak, I've opened the aperture. It seems like we're clear up here, but I can see a path of where they went. I don't know how much time we have, but if we want to slay the silkworm, I can definitely descend into the cave. Just let me know.
Yes, I think make sure you cover its so it can't escape it that way, and you can launch your attacks from there.
There will also be fire coming out.
Well, that might not be good.
We don't have to do fire now.
Do fire. I'm down with fire.
No.
Okay, I just don't want to call
Dogwood
attention to us if we don't need to. But yeah, I'm more than happy to burn shit.
I mean, Ma'ak doesn't care about it, but isn't it valuable? The silk?
Theoretically.
To slow us down.
Well, what if I use a fire spell and shoot a fireball at the head of the silkworm? If we just sort of kill it, then it's like, cutting the head off a fish or a deer or something. We still have the rest of it to use as we need.
Well, a fireball would have a powerful area effect that would probably burn a great deal of this silk. I give no shits about the silk preservation.
And I don't know how to harvest it, so burn it, because it will just slow us down.
Yeah. Well, if we're gonna fight it, it's in our way, so let's burn it.
As far as blocking the exit, I cannot. I can stand here and attack it from above, but I can't put the stone above the aperture once I descend in, so I can just stand above.
Just don't let fire come out and get you.
Why don't you just shut the aperture again until we're done with this? Then when the thing is cooked and killed, you can hop back in and we can figure out our next move.
Well,
Actually, if you are intending to burn it, you may, Geza, we may want you to replace the aperture so that smoke does not signal the tower that we have done something here.
Oh, that's
Reseal it.
probably a good idea.
Yeah, we're not in a hurry. I don't know. Actually, maybe this worm is going to recover soon. But But
Probably have
I
like
think,
an hour and a half left before the sun comes up.
Yeah,
I'm more like your poison wearing off, or whatever they ensorcelled the creature with may wear off too.
Sure, and I imagine if once attacked, that will wear off whatever effect they've placed on it.
Quite right.
So I will replace the aperture. I will place the stone back on the aperture, and I will meet you at the opening of the cave, or just join you.
Yeah,
Fire
yes.
in progress.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. I think that we all turn to Char. Do we? I wanna. If I end meta concert with BAP, I'm not going to be able to reestablish it, so I have to leave that up. And I don't know if he's chattering away in my ear or not, if something else is going on. But I'll maintain between BAP and Desi. That'll be my 2.
Okay, so you're maintaining between Desi and BAP. Now, BAP hasn't said anything to you.
That's fine. That's fine. It's actually probably better because I want to be able to focus on this. But
Okay.
he can. We're in contact. So, but again, it's only things we willingly share. So it's not like he's hearing my surface thoughts or chatter or anything like that. It's more like I might just say, "Bap, are you still well?"
He says, I'm back within the layer.
Well done.
I am just depositing the body in the layer of the queen.
We are considering assaulting the silkworm. Do you have any advice for us?
You must hurry. The hold only lasts a few moments.
Very well. Then we need
Oh,
not waste any more time. And I will return and say, BAP has confirmed. Actually, Desi, you heard that, so you know, too. But I'll turn to the group and say, BAP has confirmed the spell will wear off soon. We need to move.
what? So it wasn't my poison. It's an old. It's an old.
Well, you didn't even get a chance to deposit your poison before everything went down.
Yeah, you could not deposit your load. Okay. Burn the worm. Burn the worm, child. Burn the worm. Burn the worm, child.
what do I need to do here?
Burn the worm.
You need
just
line
cast
of
your
sight.
Spell.
Line of sight
Yeah,
is
you
what
need
you
line
need.
of sight. You need to enter into the cavern just far enough where you can see the target,
Okay.
or at least see where you want to cast the point at which you want to cast the fireball, and then cast it. And then I get to make a
And
save.
that's the abilities.
Well, in actions, actually, how many?
All I need
spell
to
slots do you
know.
have?
Yeah, all I need to know is what your spell save DC is. And that is going to be. Let's see. Because I will open your character sheet as well. Where's Char? There you are. Because do you have fireball? What are you casting? Fireball?
I've got cleansing flame.
Oh, cleansing flame.
And
okay.
sacred flame.
Okay. Oh, okay. So
And
what we're gonna
communal
do
flame
is
and continual flame as well.
okay. So give me just a second so that we can utilize fantasy grounds here. So I'm going to advance this to where Char is the. Okay. I'm going to target the silkworm for you. So you're now targeting the silkworm. You're using cleansing flame. So we're going to open that up.
Cleansing flame, your big boy.
Wait. Cleansing flame is for yourself. You use that to heal yourself. So that's not. That's your pact of fire ability, where
Okay.
basically you create a campfire and you sit in the fire, and it heals you.
Oh.
Searing Smite is probably the one you're looking at. It does 1d6 fire damage. And then you also have Sacred Flame,
Are those
which was
cantrips?
1d8 radiant. Yeah, that's a cantrip that you can use over and over again. Keep in mind, Your cantrip spells you can use over and over and over again. You don't have to relearn them. They act basically like just a weapon in your hand. You can use every round. You also have continual flame at second level.
That doesn't do damage.
No. That's basically a light spell. So yeah, so Sacred Flame is probably going to be your best bet right now. So we are going to.
Is there a battle map or no?
No, not for this because it's just a very small space.
Okay.
And we're going to do this.
Does he not have? As an Exarch, he would have access to like Fireball, right? I'm looking at.
Yeah, but it's not memorized.
But
no, Fireball is a wizard spell.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a cleric.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we're gonna throw this save down on the Silkworm. Oh, and let's see what happens. So with Sacred Flame. But you're gonna have advantage because it's unconscious. I am going to say that because it's unconscious, it's just laying there, that it's going to be an automatic hit. So we're going to just roll some fucking damage on this Silkworm.
What about
this would probably wake it up?
I'm looking at cleric spells. Firestorm? Is that possible?
Well, we have to keep in mind what Char has memorized right now.
But for clerics,
is
there memorization? There is. Okay.
Yeah, but a Firestorm is much higher level than what you guys have access to right now.
Oh, okay.
So for Sacred Flame, unfortunately, you cast your Sacred Flame and you see this radiant light burst into the room, and it just barely strikes down on the edge of the Silkworm, and all it really manages to do, other than singeing the tip of its tail, is to wake it up. And it begins to writhe around madly.
Well, then, if this is a cantrip, can I do it again and set the silk on fire so it's burning around it?
Well, I will do a save on the silk to see if it catches fire. The silk only singes briefly, and you can see the orange embers kind of trickle out through the edges of the area of effect and then dissipate. But nothing catches fire completely.
Well, I'm more than willing to go in with my my inflamed razor things and punch the shit out of this thing.
No, you will wait. This is where I shine.
Well, hold on, because you just did your action, and now the Silkworm is writhing about maniacally, and it is definitely targeting you, and it immediately lashes out.
Well,
trying to bite you.
Aren't we rolling initiative at this point, though? I mean, that was our surprise round, wasn't it?
Well,
do I get to
Fantasy
roll
Grounds
ever?
does that.
Or are you
Fantasy
rolling
Grounds
for
does
me?
that automatically.
Oh yeah? Oh, how about that?
Yeah. It's automatic. It's already done for you.
Oh, look at that.
So,
all right, cool. Never mind.
Yeah.
Sorry about it.
But as it lashes out, it is obviously still completely discombobulated and confused as it wakes up from the pain of the flame, and as it strikes out wildly and completely misses you. And it's now Kraukus's turn. You can hear the commotion happening inside the cavern. You know that you're going to have to get down on your hands and knees, though, to get in there.
I will get down on my hands and knees and I will crawl towards the combat.
Okay, so you start crawling in there. What's your move rate?
35.
35. Okay, so you can actually get in there. You can't, as you get into the cave, though, you can see that you're moving at half speed. You get in far enough where you can stand up. You're just at the edge of all of the silk. You can't move any further. The silkworm is still lashing about wildly. Not within arm's reach of you, though. So if you want to attack it, you'll have to use a ranged attack.
Is there a rock nearby?
Oh, there's plenty of rocks.
I pick up a rock and I throw it. And would that be, I'm guessing that would be in an acrobatics check? Or an athletics check?
Is it just an attack roll?
I mean, you're just using a base projectile. I mean, this would be no different. I'm not going to give you disadvantage. I mean, everybody knows how to throw a rock.
Yeah.
So just give me an attack check.
Okay.
But yeah, as you stand up.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 17.
That almost looked like it should. That's fucking crazy. You get it, yeah. Plus, oh my god, these half giants. I'm telling you. Rolled a 9, modified 17. Holy shit. So yeah, as you crawl in,
and he's on his hands and knees in front of me.
As you crawl in, you throw your hand down on a stone and then rise up to your full height, your full 11-foot height inside the cavern. Let loose. Definitely hit that motherfucker. Give me your damage on that.
Okay.
Nice.
I'm assuming a D4?
Well, no. It's going to be roll a D6.
But only if it's
because
better than
your
a 3.
size. Yeah.
Okay, so that's
Oh,
12.
that's
12
better.
damage instead of 9.
That was better.
I should probably change the dice damage on my club because my club is doing a D4.
Yeah, that's not right. That's a human club.
Okay.
Yeah. not a small
Now,
tree. Yeah.
Here's the thing. You hurl that stone as hard as you can, and you know that it would, like, if you were throwing it at the head of an opponent in the gladiatorial ring, it would cave their skull in. This stone just rebounds off of the skin of the great worm, seemingly doing nothing to it.
Shit.
Well, then we're going to have to jump. Somebody's going to have to get close and cut through the skin because there's no skeletons in these things.
I'm
No
going to rip it apart.
I would say Ma'ak and who are our spellcasters? Our spellcasters need to give me an Arcana check.
Are you including me in that?
Yeah, because you're a psionicist. So
Sure thing. I roll a 10.
oh my god, you guys!
I roll a
just
9.
rolled some-
Jesus.
I assume
And what
I'm not
about
included as I'm
Geza?
not in the
Oh
cavern.
yeah, because you're not in there. So neither of you have any idea why this just happened. Why that gigantic stone, which should have pulverized this thing, just bounced off of it like it was nothing.
Can Mock ask Bap if there's some sort of residual protection spell on this creature or something? Or at least.
Well, what do you say to Mock in the moment? Because you're connected
Okay.
psionically.
Can you ask the slave if there's some sort of what sort of enchantments may or may not be on this worm?
I will.
Or if it's just the worm's skin is super tight. Tough.
I will on my turn, Aaron. I'm basically just saying,
Okay.
is the creature invulnerable? We just watched a boulder reverberate off its skin.
Okay.
Something like that.
Okay, so that's what you're going to reach out to him to say. Gezda, it's your turn.
I am.
You can hear all the commotion down below you.
I'm diving to the cave entrance.
Okay. So as you swoop in, you can see as you start to hover down to the ground, you can see that there is silk thread everywhere below you. You're gonna have there's areas off to the side. There's certain areas. Give me an insight check, or actually no. Give me a perception check.
But I'm much better at insight.
Yeah, but you're not trying to read the intentions of the silk. A 10. Oh shit! No, you come down to land right in the middle of the silk. Give me a dexterity save.
Wow.
Oh my god. You are thoroughly as you hit the ground, you instantly feel the stickiness around your feet, and you begin to pull up, and at the same time you're wildly flapping, and the tips of your wings touch down into the silk and then get caught, and now you're suddenly completely mired in the silk.
Chump.
And you can't do anything else this turn. Ma'ak.
Do I see that happen? Do I see Geza get stuck?
Oh yeah. He comes right down in the middle of it.
Oh, Geza. Okay. I think Ma'ak is going to attempt some telepathic combat, because I get the feeling that this thing isn't particularly wise or smart or charismatic. So I will change my psionic ability, and I will start with my mind thrust cantrip.
Give it the thrust.
So it
In no
owes
way
me...
sexual.
Right.
Oh,
In no
yeah.
way sexual. I'm going to thrust this thing's mind. Okay. So that is so basically what you see is suddenly Ma'ak's eyes flare like a bright red light with a bright red light, and then waves of telepathic energy strike at the creature. It owes me a charisma saving throw. DC 15.
Okay. What happens if it fails?
If it fails, it takes 1d10 points of psychic damage, and that's just my warm-up. Did it fail?
Okay. Roll me some damage.
Excellent. All right. Only 1 point of damage, psychic damage. But again, that was just my preamble, and then I will actually follow it up with my actual ability, Ego Whip.
Okay.
Which is what I actually have to spend psi points on.
You see the worm twitch briefly.
Okay. Well, then you see my thoughts coalesce into a briefly perceptible whip of telepathic energy. Although in Ma'ak's case, I think it probably looks more like a scorpion's tail.
Uh-huh.
And then it strikes out. Basically, my range is 60 feet, so it's well in range, I assume.
Yeah.
It owes me a wisdom saving throw. Again,
Okay.
15. DC 15.
And if it fails?
If it fails, then it takes 3d8 psychic damage, and it can only take the dodge, disengage, or hide action on its next turn.
Okay.
So, sorry, how do I make this into a 3d8?
You just
You
click
just
it and shift.
you just click and hold and
Shift.
It should.
Oh, I see.
come
Oh,
up
sorry, I
with,
got it.
Okay.
Yeah, times 3. There we go. Damn it, didn't do it. Whatever. Here we go.
Just roll it 3 times.
I'm throwing it 3 times. All right, so that is 7, 11, 13 plus my other 14 total if you include my mind thrust.
14 total.
Psychic damage.
Yeah, give it the mind thrust.
You gotta include the mind thrust.
You have to give it the good thrust.
But first, you have to put your hands on your hips and take a step to the right.
Stop it. No, that's great.
No, that comports. Yeah. Okay. So you reach out with your psychic scorpion tail. It lashes up and over, comes down into the meat of the psychic body of the worm, and you see it begin to lash around quickly. Its tail coiling and slapping down on the ground briefly. As it exhales what I guess could be considered a hiss.
Yeah.
Desi.
That's
Desi.
so badass.
I would like to cast inspiration on Char. And I have nothing so cool as what Marc just did.
So you wait. So you're going to give inspiration to Char.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Char, make that. What's your inspiration die? Is it a D6, a D4? What is it?
Mine?
No. Desi.
Okay.
Desi's inspiration
Is it under
for bards right now. I think it's a D6.
I think it's a D6 at this level.
Oh, there it is.
And then
Yes.
it goes up to a D8 later.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So basically, that means, Mark, that Char can use that inspiration die on any roll he so chooses. And you can use it after you've actually made the roll, but before you have learned the outcome of that roll.
Okay.
So, for instance, let's say that you make a straight attack against the creature, you get a 14, and you're like, oh man, I'm not sure if that 14 hit. And you look to me, and I do this. Who knows? And then you say, you know what, fuck it, let's add that inspiration die. And you roll that D6, that elevates it to a 16.
Mm-hmm.
And then I say, yes, you hit it. And then you say, did I hit it before? And I say, who knows? So that's basically the way that works. So just keep that in mind. But inspiration, I think you can give inspiration as a bonus action. So what we're going to do is your actual action.
I'm going to try to hit it with my short bow.
Short bow. Okay. So let me make sure that you're targeted correctly. Okay. And roll that damage or roll that hit.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Nice.
Oh, you hit. Yes, you hit it solidly. Give me that
23
damage.
total.
Nice.
That's a beefy hit.
Yeah.
Or is it?
Oh, that's a beefy hit. Maybe not in damage.
I mean, 4 plus 7 piercing damage.
If this was a villager, they'd be fucked.
Does it bounce off its carapace again though, Aaron?
Well, hold on a second, because it should have told me.
Is the targeting not happening? No, it is. I don't know.
Well, no, it's targeted on the hit, but it's not targeting on the damage for some reason.
Oh, that's
Let
because I took a dice from the lower.
Oh, yeah,
That's
yeah.
exactly
So you
it,
need
yeah.
to go to your actions, and you need to roll. You need to double click your damage die. So your short bit. Yeah. Okay.
I'll
Hey!
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yes, your arrow does bounce off of the skin of the worm.
Does BAP respond to my inquiry on my turn about?
Okay, remind me of the question you asked him.
We said, I had asked him about the silkworm's defenses. Basically, I had expressed that we just watched a boulder bounce off its carapace. Is there something we need to know here, or whatever?
Okay, and I also have to remember that, you know, the physical person and the psychic person are two distinct individuals. So the response that you begin to get from BAP slowly seems to be less and less the emaciated, enslaved person,
Mm-hmm.
and more sort of the quintessential, the quintessence of the individual. And he says, the silkworms are very immune to damage by normal weapons. We have tried over the months to harm them with our obsidian and bone implements, but they are resistant. It seems as though only the magic of the Yanti have any effect upon them.
I understand. Thank you, Bab. I will do my best to relay that in, a snippet or two. It's immune to normal weapons, essentially.
Okay. Yeah.
We need to hurt it with magic or psionics, it seems.
It's Char's turn though. Char. Having heard what Mock says.
Right.
I still want to. We got to get through the skin of this thing. So, can I use my razor gauntlets and go punch this thing and try and cut through it?
Can't you inflame them too?
I can turn them on. I can make them on fire as well.
Oh.
Now we're talking.
That's the big money.
I mean, I don't even have to go to its face. I could just run down the side of it, and if I can get the razors in it, I can just, unzip it like a sleeping bag.
Unzip it like a bag.
Do inflamed razors count as magical weapons, or are they just flaming?
We will see. We will see.
Yeah. Who knows?
The term flaming is not politically correct.
Stop.
Wait. I'm sorry. There was one other snippet of information that Bap sent to you, Ma'ak. The last thing you hear from him is obsidian.
Great. My wrist gauntlets are obsidian.
Okay.
Excellent.
So, but that also means you still have to get through. Well, okay.
I hope you make a good deck save. Well, you have inspiration.
No. Wait.
Yeah,
wait.
with those 2 points of inspiration,
wait.
I'll roll a 3.
Yeah. Wait. Okay. So yeah, the snake is clever enough to try to lure you into its habitat, which means that it stays far enough back that if you want to strike it, you will have to tread into the silk. So give me a dex save as you tread into the silk.
And that's under
First page,
main.
left side.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see it. Sorry.
I think the
on
the
the
saves
ability
are on the
side
right
or the
side.
dex side? The save side.
Hold on. Give me just a second. The saves are going to be... Yeah, the saves are on the right side.
So I'm rolling...
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
Dexterity under that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so hit that little 20-sider. Yeah.
Woo!
Woo!
Oh, okay.
16.
Nice.
So you're able to... Basically, at this point, enough commotion has been created, enough trampling has been done for you to find safe places to step, and you can get close enough to make your attack without being ensnared.
Awesome.
And what do I roll something for that as well now?
So
Under
you want to go
actions.
to your actions,
Right.
Okay.
and under there you're going to see your wrist razors at the very top. You're going to hit that black 20-sider that says +4. Just double click that. Oh, but no, you swipe up at the silkworm, and it moves out away from you very quickly, and your hand just swipes in an open arc.
Even with the inspiration?
Well, have you added? Oh shit! Have you added your inspiration?
Well, you said
want
I
to?
couldn't do. You said I couldn't do that until after I rolled. So
Yeah. Okay. You know
I
what?
think-
I'll give this one to you because I jumped the gun. So I'll give that one to you if you want to add
A D6.
your inspiration.
I wouldn't. I don't think you'll hit it even if you roll a 6.
13 is a low. That would be a low hit. I don't think it'll happen.
Well, you're gonna add that inspiration to the because you rolled a 7. So even if you roll a 6, the
Plus
best you can
2,
hope
it's
for is
15,
a
right?
13.
I think
No,
13,
it's
13 is your highest.
The most, the highest possible that you can get will be a 13.
But what about
So
the
you need to
inspiration?
decide if you.
That's
That is
with the
inspiration.
inspiration.
That's with
Oh,
the
okay. I'm
inspiration.
sorry. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I wasn't clear on that.
And,
sorry.
and that's only if you roll a 6. You could roll a 1, and
You
then
have
you'll
to-
be at
yeah.
8. You know.
And
I'd
what?
save it.
I
So
don't
does-
think. I think you would waste the inspiration. Is what I'm
Okay.
saying.
All right. Then I'll wait.
Okay. All right, and I'll allow this metagaming moment. Okay, so that brings us back down to the silkworm, and because Char attempted a actual melee attack against it, it's going to stay with trying to attack Char.
No, it's not. It can only dodge, disengage, or hide this round.
That's
oh,
right.
I'm sorry. Thank you for keeping that in mind. So dodge, disengage, or
Hide.
hide. So, okay. So it begins to it disengages, and it begins to fly up and out the hole.
No, there is
The
no
hole
hole.
shut.
There's no hole.
He
It's
put the
shut.
rock back.
I
Shut the
thought you.
aperture.
Nope.
Oh, you
No.
did.
He rolled it back. Yeah.
He
That
did
was the
because
plan.
we were
Okay.
because we were worried about fire and smoke.
Gotcha.
Specifically,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Sorry. Okay. So then it disengages, and it begins to fly out the mouth of the cave.
So there's a lot of opportunity.
As it does so, it flies past Char, it flies past Ma'ak, and it flies past Desi.
How is that? I
Uh,
thought this space was constricted. How much overhead room is there for this giant worm to fly?
Well, I mean, the ceiling itself is about 60 feet up. It's kind of a cone that rises up to the ceiling. But if you head out towards the mouth of the cave, it funnels out towards an aperture that's about 10 foot wide and 5 foot tall.
Can Mock send a psychic message to Geza to just like stand over the hole with like a sharp object?
I can't.
And Geza Akos is actually
Yeah.
in the cave
not,
with us now.
Yeah, not your turn. So So
I mean,
unfortunately,
regardless, I'm standing there, so I'll be seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but if forgive me if this is once again too granular. If the worm is flying out of the cave and it's flying towards a 10-foot tunnel as opposed to the 60 feet high, and we're in its way, why can't we just all hold out our weapons as it flies through? Like
Well, you are going to get attacks of opportunity.
Okay. Okay.
That's
I just
the
wasn't clear.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So, but remember, the worm itself is about a little less than 1.5 feet in diameter. So it begins to fly and slither out between you. But as it moves past you, first Ma'ak or first Cha'ar, you get an attack of opportunity.
Okay.
Now you can't cast a spell, but you can make a physical melee attack.
Cool. Let's do that. And is that under main for the actions?
Yeah, just go into your actions.
Okay.
You can use your wrist razor attack again.
Okay. Oh, come on.
But yes,
You could
but
use-
as
you
you
could use inspiration.
Let's use the
Yeah,
inspiration.
there you go.
All right, so roll
Nice.
a d6 and add that on.
Use the inspiration.
The D6 is the square one, right?
Yep.
Yes, it's regular dice, yeah. Rolling snake eyes. But we don't want snake eyes. We want that big.
No, we want
We have boxcars.
Yeah.
Big
Zexon.
Yeah, just pick up a D6 and throw it down.
Big money, big
'Cause I
money.
know what the is. I know what the AC is.
No
Big
whammy.
money.
Why is it not showing up? How do
You
I-
need to move it to the little window on the left.
Yeah, throw it into the chat.
Drop it on the chat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is it not? Oh, there we go.
Okay, that's a 3.
13. As it flies past, you swipe your arm out against it, but as you do so, it twists and you just miss it.
Oh,
As it twists around you. Next is Desi. You get an attack of opportunity as it whips past you.
Do any of the rest of us get flanking, perhaps, as it like pushes through us, or?
I mean, how does flanking work in 5e?
It's double. It's basically you get advantage on your attack roll.
I guess I'll give Desi and Ma'ak flank on that.
Oh,
Cool.
I'll give you advantage on your. I mean, it's this is well, no, because this is a moment where it's lashing between you, and so it is just an attack of opportunity. This isn't a strategic moment where you have staged the flank. It's just happening, and so all you can really do is just lash out with whatever you can. So it's going to be a basic attack of opportunity. So Desi, give me your attack of opportunity.
In my frantic disappointment, I'm going to lash out with my wrist razor,
Okay.
and then I'm going to add my. Well, if I hit, we'll see what happens.
What's your wrist razor made of?
oh,
Nice. 21.
It's a normal, boring wrist razor, but I
Okay.
want to add my own bonus inspiration to make it a psychic blade.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. Big money,
Nice.
big money.
Psychic damage.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Like that.
But
I
wait,
like that idea. So give it to me.
so there's the. Oh,
oh, there it is.
That's the big money.
That's the 4.
That's the Wait, that's the regular damage.
That's
now
regular
what about your
damage,
side
and then
blade?
psychic gets 2d6.
Nice.
For context, they rolled a 1 on a d6.
Yeah.
There's
Mm.
one.
Oh, but they
Ah! Two.
6.
Additional psychic damage.
very average on those.
Okay. Okay. So
So,
So,
is that
yeah,
6
actually, like,
psychic and
you
4
feel-
physical?
well, yes. As you do the same thing basically that Char did, bring your wrist razor up as it passes by you. You can feel the bone blades of your wrist razors just skirt past the flesh of the worm, but then your psychic energy erupts and you can feel that dig into the body of the worm, and blood pours down
I'm gonna
on
just
your
open
arm,
my
drenching your arm.
Oh,
Yeah, and
and
you
let
can
it rain.
taste
and-
that. You can taste that iron liquid, that metallic liquid as it comes into your mouth.
Nutrients.
And Ma'ak, your attack of opportunity.
I will try, but I get the feeling that this isn't going to work. I will stab at it with my Githka,
Okay.
and I roll
Now,
a
Githkas
21.
are kind of special, so.
All right,
Well,
if you
well,
s-
your Githka is your Githka made of docile?
It is, because it belonged to my now deceased life mate.
Okay.
So she made it, and undoubtedly she knew how to make Dazzle. So I would think
Okay.
so.
Okay, so give it to me.
Actually, I think you have this wrong. You have Githkas at die 6. I think they're supposed to be die 8s. But it's all right. I'll roll a 6. Not a problem.
Yeah, let's just do it.
Yeah, all right. So I roll a total of a 7.
7.
7 damage.
Okay, and yes, as you bring your Githka up, it does penetrate the flesh of the worm.
Oh, awesome.
Docile
What a sexy
does
thing to say.
penetrate the flesh. And
Penetrate the worm.
and you feel the warm heat of blood as it drenches down upon your integers. And as it emerges from the cavern, the last person to get an attack of opportunity is Crowcus.
Yes. Okay, so
Wait a minute. Geza doesn't get an opportunity?
You're not within. Are you within? I don't think you're within 5 feet of it.
so I can I
Is it
attempt
not
to
exiting?
It's exiting the cavern. I can't imagine a world in which you are in melee range of it.
Aren't I
Coming
like
out of the cavern
in the
mouth.
entrance of the cavern?
I thought you were above the cavern mouth.
No, I'm stuck in webbing inside the entrance.
Oh, right, because you fell in. Oh, right, you fell into the middle of it, but as it left, it gave you a 5-foot berth, and so you don't get your attack of opportunity.
Okay. So, can I attempt a grapple?
Yeah, sure.
Nice.
Okay, so I am going to try to grapple it, which is
Okay. Athletics versus its athletics or acrobatics.
okay. So, can I fly into a rage as a bonus action? I can, right?
I would assume so. You're a
Rage
barbarian.
is a bonus action.
Like,
So
someone
that gives me a, let's see here, a +2 to melee. So you have a advantage on strength checks, and I'm doing athletics, which is a strength check. And so, yeah, I'm
What
going,
are the cons? And just real quick, what's the consequences of flying into a rage?
Okay, feature in battle, you fight with a primal ferocity. On your turn, you can rage as a bonus action. While raging, you gain the following benefits if you aren't wearing armor. You have advantage on strength checks and have strengths, and you have advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws. When you make a melee attack using strength, you gain a bonus to the damage roll that increases as you gain levels. You have resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. And then if you are able to cast spells, you can't cast them. And it looks like that's the negative. Your rage lasts for 1 minute. It ends early if you're knocked unconscious, or if your turn ends and you have neither attacked a hostile creature or have taken damage. Yeah, so it looks like it's just that now. So I'm going to fly into a rage, which gives me advantage on my athletics check. So I'm going to roll my athletics. So
Nice.
I rolled a 23 as my high. And so you will not escape me, William. And I flex, and I go to grapple it. And my plan is to ride that worm.
Oh, you grab hold
Sweet
it
talker.
and you ride that fucking worm. And you're digging your feet into the ground as it is kind of like begins to like drag you out into the canyon, away from the cave mouth. But it's enough to slow it down and hold it there as the 60, 75 foot length of this thing is starting to writhe around madly. And
Does
so
that
it,
give
and it's
Geza
actually
an opportunity to do a thing?
well actually it's that was your bonus action, that was your attack of opportunity. It's now actually your action.
So
Crocus.
so I have it grappled. I would like to try to wrench it and try to, as I have it grappled, try to peel, because it has like plates that lay across each other like this, correct? Something like
Yeah.
this. So as I have it grappled, I'm going to try to peel the plates back and wrench it apart. So I believe that is I think that's an additional athletics check.
Give me an athletics check.
And since
you got
I'm-
it grappled.
since I'm still raging-
I'll give you the athletics.
Since it is
on that.
since I'm still raging, that makes it at advantage. So my first one is a 15. Big money, no whammies. Whoops. I rolled that way off the fucking chart. Okay.
Also, there you can turn
My
on.
second
Oh,
one is a
23.
23.
Nice.
Say that again,
Just
Rob.
sorry, just so you know, on the bottom there, you can turn on advantage or disadvantage if you want there.
Oh, I see.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, I know.
I
but-
did not
but,
know this.
you know,
I just saw that. in
why
the bottom
why
left-hand
bother?
corner.
Why bother when you can just double click? Okay, so yeah, you do actually manage to tear a plate off of its back. Give me a D4 roll for damage.
Ooh, yes. So that would be, let's see here, a 3 plus, if I'm adding my strength, 6, so 9.
Okay, so hold on just a second.
Eat my butt, you stinky worm.
Physical damage to a thing that's only susceptible.
Plus, wait. Okay, so was that plus what's your strength bonus?
6. Because I'm
okay.
an enormous monster. So
You're raging too?
Okay.
You know what? Yeah, but I think that only, I don't know if that gives me, so let me go.
It doesn't boost your strength anymore. It just gives you advantage on checks.
It just gives me advantages on checks. So,
Okay.
But I just want to
Well-
be clear.
oh, no, wait, hold on. It does give me damage.
When Craucus is holding it and restricting it from leaving, it doesn't even get to me.
Oh, I gain
because you're inside the cavern.
Oh, no, I do gain a
Craucus is at
bonus.
the mouth of the cavern.
I'm at the mouth of the cavern. Craucus.
You were
Would be in front of
remember you flew in from the aperture.
Hold on.
So you're in the middle of the
I
cavern
did
now.
not, I did not fly in from the aperture. I flew back down to the mouth. I am the furthest out.
Wait,
I reclosed.
what happened?
I reclosed the aperture and then dived down to the aperture.
That's why
down
he was so late to the combat.
And he's stuck in webbing at the entrance of the cave.
at the entrance of the cave. I'm the furthest out.
He's outside almost. He's like
Okay. Okay, so you're the furthest out, but because you are ensnared, you don't get an attack of opportunity
Okay.
because you were ensnared.
All right.
So, yeah. Now
I do get a
having
bonus
said
damage.
that,
But
it is
even-
your turn now.
Oh, so I did
Oh.
an additional 2 damage to it.
So he did 11 damage.
I did 6 plus 3. No. So I rolled a 3.
Yeah.
And-
Plus 6 plus 2.
Yes. So 11 damage. Yes.
11. Okay. Okay, doke.
That's that.
Okay, but it is Geza Akos's turn now.
Okay.
You are within strike. You don't need to move. You could actually strike the creature because you are within 5 feet of
So-
where it is being grappled by Craucus.
But is its body in front of me or is its head in front of me?
It's writhing back and forth, so like it's. I mean, like you're gonna have to strike, and it's a crapshoot because of the way that it's writhing about at this point.
Cool. Geza is going to Toll of the Dead at this thing. I point at this creature within range. A sound of a dolorous bell fills the air for a moment. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw. And since it's already taken hit point damage, it if it fails, we'll take a 1d12 necrotic damage.
Cool.
Okay, so roll me damage.
Okay. Is the one next to the d20 the d12, I assume?
Yeah. Because it says 12.
This fucking guy. Here we go.
Okay, so 4 points of damage. Is that the necrotic damage?
Apparently that's what I did.
Okay, so describe that effect to me again.
Geza looks at him, concentrates real hard, furrows his brow, and the dragon just hears like boom, and suddenly is in fucking horrible pain.
Okay. You see it twitch. And and for some reason it's not targeting correctly. You see it twitch and vibrate along its length, and as it does so, Craucus, you feel like this vibration in your teeth that like rises up and goes into your fucking teeth. And it's awful. It's fucking awful, but you maintain control easily. But it's still writhing about madly. It's now Ma'ak's turn.
Okay. But it looks like Craucus has a hold of it, at least for the moment.
Yeah, he's still grappling it.
Okay,
like
awesome.
Mad.
Okay. Then Ma'ak runs over to a spot on the creature where he can touch it. And I will use an ability that I have never actually weaponized before, called Destiny Dissonance. Essentially, I touch a creature and inundate them with imperfect understanding of several possible futures. The target must succeed on an intelligence saving throw or be overwhelmed for as long as I concentrate, which is up to a minute. While overwhelmed, the target has disadvantage on ability checks, attack rolls, and its speed is halved.
Yo! That's fucking awesome.
Give me an intelligence save, DC 15, please.
Oh man!
Did it save?
Just barely. Like in your psychic space, you see yourself reaching out to grab hold of its form, and it just slithers out of grasp. And you just see your fingers reaching out as its form dematerializes around you, and you lose grasp of it, and you realize that you were unable to make contact.
That is frustrating.
Yes, that is frustrating. Desi, it is now your turn.
I'm gonna do what I done did before with my wrist razor.
Wrist razor.
Or maybe
Wrist
not.
razor. Glancing off the tail of the worm and does nothing.
Hey,
Char.
quick question. If her wrist razor hit the tail of the worm, no pun intended, isn't the tail of the worm charred? So the skin should be more weak there, because I did burn it a little.
Well, she didn't actually, it just glanced off of the carapace of the worm itself. It did penetrate, it didn't do any damage.
All right, how many
So-
feet of worm are left in this cavern? Because I want to kill this goddamn thing.
Yeah, you can move to intercept the last 10 feet that are still writhing around inside the cavern.
Okay, yeah, I want to try and
Hold on.
slice those off.
I have an inspiration to spend. I want to give it to
Okay.
Craucus.
Okay. Okay, so you give that to Craucus, but Char, give me your attack roll.
I feel particularly powerful, thank you,
And that's
Desi.
the wrist razor again, right?
Yeah. No, glances once again
Don't-
off
14,
of the
Can I use
The
your
hard,
inspiration? Or is the
scaly-
inspiration only for one turn?
It's
only one turn, only
It's
one
a
roll.
and done.
Yeah, and now the silkworm is writhing about maniacally. Instead of trying to release itself from Craucus's grasp, it just whips around and dives in for a bite.
on who?
On
Is it allowed?
Craucus.
Hmm.
But
That
It says at Char though.
well, I know it says Char. I didn't hold on. Like I didn't recalibrate my target.
But that was a
Now-
miss anyways, so...
Yeah, it doesn't matter. What's your, what is Craucus's AC?
15.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. No. It swipes. You see the head whip around, dive in, and instead of actually biting, it just dashes in and just smashes into your side with its snout. But it doesn't have enough power in the length that it has to actually harm you. And it's your turn now, Crocus.
Well, I will continue to wrench at it with my massive biceps. And so
Give me another one of those.
So I think that's another athletics check at advantage.
Oh shit, another 23.
Well,
So,
this
yeah,
is at
give
advantage, so 23.
Yeah, go with that 23.
Okay, and so this will be a d6 plus 6. So 7.
God.
Oh, actually
Rolled a 1.
yes, but because I'm raging and I have a massive strength, that is a plus 6, 7, 9.
Wait, 1 plus 9, so it was 10?
No. 1 plus 6, and because I'm raging, makes it a 9.
Plus 6 plus 2.
Plus 6 plus 2.
So total of 9.
Yes, a total of 9.
Okay, so we did.
Are
So-
you ripping off more scales?
I am so yeah. This is what you guys see. I have part of the
So
worm
on
underneath
top,
my arm.
wait. So on top
Oh.
of this 1 that you just rolled,
Yes.
because it's not calculating things correct, I have to add another 9.
No. 9 total. It's plus 6 plus 2. Plus
So
2
plus
for
8.
the. Yeah.
9 total.
What?
8 plus 1.
Wait.
Jesus,
Jesus
dude.
Christ.
6 plus 2
hold
is
on.
8 plus 1 is 9. dude.
Hold on, because Fantasy Grounds is doing its own math and automating damage, and it takes it automatically.
Okay.
So you just rolled 1 point of damage. I need to add to that 1 point what?
8.
8. Okay.
Okay, now on to my cool description of what I'm doing. Okay. All right, so I have part of the worm underneath my arm, and as I've ripped off a plate, I go to rip off another plate, but at the same time, I am wrenching it down, and I say, "You will not escape me, little worm," and I'm just trying to dig it in and break, if it has any bones, against my torso as I torsion it, and at the same time, I'm ripping off another plate.
Well, what you do
Or
is
whatever.
basically that, and the entire length and body of the worm begins to writhe and slap against the ground in seeming death throes. Its mouth is gaping open. It's screeching horribly. It's holding on to life by threads at this point.
Hell yeah.
And it is now Geza Akos's turn once more.
Whoa.
You have a feeling that the worm is on the brink of expiration.
Then once again, I shall not try to free myself from these webs, and I will toll his death, hopefully. Let's see. He has to roll a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. And if he saves?
Probably save for none.
I guess none. Yeah.
Hey, you have a sense that the mind is too far distant within its throes of chaos for you to penetrate it. And therefore, you are unable to have any effect.
Is
Ma'ak,
anyone within reach of me?
Ma'ak is there. Desi is there.
I can physically touch
everyone
them?
is near you. But probably Ma'ak is the close. Well, no, Desi is.
I'm a
probably
large
the
creature
closest to you.
too. Well, but
Yeah.
I'm a large creature, so it's probably not hard to touch my leg or.
Oh, no. It's okay.
Yeah.
I only have one action. I'm spent. Go for it.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry. So it's Ma'ak's turn then.
yeah.
All right. Well, It seemed to work last time, so I'm gonna switch back. I'm gonna use Mind Thrust again. So my eyes flash a brilliant red, and it owes me a charisma saving throw.
Okay.
DC 15.
Oh, and so what's the effect?
Well,
If it fails or succeeds?
If it succeeds, nothing happens. If it fails, it takes 1d10 points of psychic damage.
Okay, well then.
Is that what
and what does that psychic damage look like?
I imagine for Mind Thrust, it's probably fairly simple, almost imperceptible. Maybe you would almost see like a mirage or a ripple of air around where his third eye, quote unquote, would be, as this energy sort of coalesces near his forehead and then strikes almost like and actually in Ma'ak's case, it might almost be like a bug pincer or the
John, what's going on, guys? Hope everybody's having a fantastic night tonight. We got a great show lined up for you. Lots of great books. Kyle, what's up, man? Lots of great books going on tonight. We got some new fire in. We got some beautiful new slabs in.
Like,
I just got
like a mantis femurs grabbing, and so one just kind of strikes out and strikes it in its third eye, or its reptile brain, or its cerebellum, wherever wherever it's weakest, I suppose. And it would take 9 points of psychic damage.
Okay.
Is it
as
still
you
up?
do this, you can see your psychic pincer, and this is something where it takes a primordial form. It's a thing where you reach deep down into your ancestral memory, to the earliest iterations of your kind, when they actually had those kind of appendages, not hands, not articulated hands that could grasp things, but literally limbs that could contract, and instead of a hand, it was this long appendage filled with spines. Go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
actually, in the first 2 stages of molting, Thrycreen have those. We only develop the hands in our 3rd year. So when we're young, we have those. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And so it is this primordial juvenile incarnation of yourself, which is personified psychically, and you can see those suddenly manifest in your psychic space, reach out and pierce into the body and mind of the worm, and as you do so, the worm suddenly collapses in the arms of Craucus, and it just flops to the ground.
Hey!
And Craucus suddenly, like, you don't know why exactly, but the great worm, this 75-foot long, 1.5 wide creature, suddenly just collapses and flops flaccid in your hands.
Story of my life.
75 feet of nothing.
That's so funny.
And the creature is dead. And let's take a bio break.
Sounds good.
All right,
All right, guys, good job.
We'll be right back sign.
Yep. Okay,
Yeah, we're
we
back
are
now.
back. The great worm, the silkworm, has collapsed in the arms of Craucus after Ma'ak has scrambled its mind, what was left of its mind, and it flops to the ground. We can extricate ourselves from initiative order. Now what? Now what are all of you doing?
Well, that's fine, but I actually had an action left, and so probably what you see
Yeah,
now happening is Ma'ak is now very happily drinking its blood. Because as it's like just starting to settle, that's when he dives in.
And I must say, earlier it was mentioned that we didn't drink enough water, but before we went to sleep, I'm sure we drank ample water.
Mm-hmm.
We had a shitload of water before our skins were punctured.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say we're due for drinking, but we're not dehydrated yet.
You're due for drinking, but you had no rest. So
Yes.
everybody but Ma'ak, now that the sun is rising, everybody but Ma'ak is going to have to give me a wisdom save or a constitution save. Sorry.
Gentle 20.
Crocus, you're at disadvantage though, Crocus. Sorry.
Oh, am I?
Yeah.
Because you
you're
have the
Oh, right.
You're poo.
Hey, hold on. Gentle 19.
Wow.
That felt great.
You hold on. You do. I mean, you got them sweaty sweats, and they are. You got them clammy fucking sweats, but you're holding on as hard as you can. Now, Geza, I'm sorry. Like the extremes of the day have taken over. You've gained 1 level of exhaustion.
Is
we
this
still need.
Do I mark that somewhere? Is that a thing I need to do in the thing?
Well,
Yeah, it's on here somewhere, isn't it?
you already had 1 level of exhaustion.
Did I?
Yeah, you started with 1 level of exhaustion, which we should have been tracking, and we haven't. So we'll just go ahead and say that you now have 1 level of exhaustion because we didn't track that correctly.
And I mark that where?
Just put it in your
I don't
notes
see it.
somewhere. There's nowhere on your character sheet to put that. Basically, what's going to happen if you end up with a level of exhaustion, you are going to get disadvantage on, I believe, ability checks. Let me double check that. I like how this is hidden in the player's handbook.
For the players at home, I just want to note that I wrote in my flaws 1 level of exhaustion, but then I saw that my appearance had nothing written in there, so I wrote so fucking sexy.
Okay.
That's a very attractive bar.
Okay, so you have 1 level of exhaustion. We're going to say that, we will say that you were able to recover your level of exhaustion once you met with the group and were able to reconstitute your water. But now that you haven't had sleep and you failed, you now have another level. This is going to give you disadvantage on ability checks until you get proper rest or proper water. Let's see. Next, Char, you also fail, so you now have a level of exhaustion, so you also have disadvantage on ability checks.
Question about the water. If I drink this worm's blood, does that get rid of my exhaustion?
No, because this is rest-based, not water-based.
That's
So
what I
you're
thought.
gonna need
then
to get-
said blood,
you're gonna-
so I just
Yeah.
I threw it out.
Desi, you also fail, so you now have disadvantage on ability checks.
Welcome to Aaron.
And who else are we missing? No, we've got everybody. Crocus, Geza, Char, and Desi.
Ma'ak?
No,
Ma'ak doesn't.
Ma'ak
He's
doesn't
so good.
because Ma'ak doesn't need to sleep. So
He's a
this
good
doesn't
guy.
affect him.
Mhm.
Yeah. So Ma'ak is like, that's why everybody should be a Thrycreen all the time in Dark Side.
Yeah. Interesting.
Get that Team Crean going on.
Team Crane.
It is handy, I will say.
Yeah.
So while this is going on, I will actually still be maintaining my meta concert with Bob or Bap.
Okay.
Bap, right?
Bap.
So I will say, Bap, good news. We have slain the worm. How long will it be before your master and you are returned to check to see if the worm has captured anyone new? How often do you check on that hole?
You can hear that he is becoming even more disconnected from his physical form as he answers and says, we only check once a day to make sure that the hunters have not brought back any new prey to add to the hive. There are he says, there are 8 hunters. You have dispatched 1.
Oh,
They supplement. He says they supplement our supply. We do not need them, but they help with the supply.
What becomes of the people the worms capture when they are given to the Yanti Queen? What occurs?
It is not the Yanti Queen. It is the Silkworm Queen. The Yanti are working for some merchant house. I do not know who. But they are harvesting lives for silk.
I see.
You do not understand what it is like in here. You do not understand what the silk trade entails. I hope. Do you?
I know very little of commerce in general. But actually, Desi is communicating with us, so she can join in this conversation. If she has other insights about the silk trade, for instance.
We tried to trade silk once, but it was too difficult to be profitable. Have they found a way? Who has this family has found a way to make it profitable? It sounds.
Yes, you probably only traded in hunter silk. Hunter silk is cheap, but also dangerous to acquire. What our masters are doing by the Yanti is reinventing the entire trade. You do not understand what the Queen does to its victims. It is unlike anything you could possibly imagine. If you have ever purchased grade A silk in the markets, then you are trafficking in one of the most horrifying commerces that exist within Athos. If you are only trafficking within hunter silk, then you are trafficking within what is just found amongst predator species.
Is the Queen wanting lives? She is using lives of humans to make silk?
The Queen feeds off of psychic energy. Your friend is now being taken into the chamber with the rest, connected to the Queen. When the Queen reaches out, it sends a filament of her silk into the mind of the individual, and it begins to penetrate the entire body. It transforms the entire internal system of the individual into silk. And then slowly, once the individual has been consumed to the proper point, a point just before death. You see, they must be alive. They must be alive before they are harvested, because if the individual dies before they are harvested, the silk within them, the silk that has been transformed inside their bodies, begins to solidify and harden, And so it must be extracted before they die. Oh, the screams. The screams. It's awful. I can't take it anymore. I can't listen to them howl in pain as we pull the filament from their mind, from their brain, extracting it from their body until they are left a hollow husk, flesh and bone, and nothing else. Miles and miles and miles of filament, of silk.
That sounds a lot harder than just harvesting silk from a cave.
It is, if you've ever been to the markets and you've purchased or seen the highest grade silk, when you come into this cavern, you will know where it comes from. You will understand where it is harvested from. The wheels in there, I can hear them right now screaming as they pull the threads from their minds and from their bodies on those great wheels as they strap them down to the tables and pull it out of their heads.
Where is this tower you want us to meet you at, and what is it?
The tower, it is on top. It is at the crest of the canyon. You should see it if you climb up. There's a switchback. There's a switchback to the east. There's a switchback to the west of the cavern. Find it, and you will go to the top. There are purebloods guarding the path to the top. But there is a way in that is a back door. If you try to go in the way that I did, they will see you, and you will not be able to make your way. You must find the back door. It's in the tower, and only a few purebloods guard.
Visualize it as clearly as you can for us. And hopefully he will share memories of seeing it, and so that we will be able to recognize it as well when we see it.
Okay. So he attempts to visualize it, and you can see through his POV as he walks down the canyon that you walked down. And you can he looks up, and you can see through his eyes up off ahead sort of a like he's trying to manifest an image of the group of you. It all comes out kind of blurry, but you can kind of make out you as individuals vaguely standing.
Did he see us?
Well,
at one.
Yeah, because you made contact.
Oh,
so...
right. Yeah, he did see me. That's right. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I actually have no problem. Ma'ak, as you know, has perfect memory. To share very clear images of both myself and my companions, so that he will know us immediately if he sees us.
Okay.
The other thing I would say is, Bap, please share with me your memory of where you hid the statue when you took it off Chance's body.
Okay.
So that we know where he hid it.
He says, I am sorry. I am sorry, sir. I was not able to hide. It has been taken by the master and is probably held within his private chambers now.
Damn it. I don't say that over. I probably swear in person.
In person, I would say, you're so much nicer than me. I would have told the slave to just kill the master. He was levitating the body.
I don't think we could have trusted him to be successful with that.
There's a moment where he gives you an image of, like, he tries to express to you his experience. And so these are the flashes of that you get. You see an image of a body being pulled through a dark chamber into a giant cavernous space, and this cavernous space is filled with humanoid forms sitting upright, heads back, mouths open. There are elves and humans and moles and dwarves and half giants and thrycreen and other creatures that you can't identify. And there are hundreds of them. Inside a massive cavern, they are submerged in water to their waist. It's a giant pool. Their heads are back, their mouths are open. You see a silver filament, like a thread, connecting each of them through the back of their heads. And that filament goes down into the water and spreads out like a web that encases their lower half and floats on the surface of the water. In the middle of that space, you just vaguely see some gigantic coiled serpentine thing. The next thing that you see is a room, a chamber filled with tables that are about humanoid size, and they're long enough to house a humanoid body, but then they have perpendicular planks that go out to either side where the arms of the individuals are strapped down. So the arms are strapped down perpendicular to the body, and the body itself is strapped down. And you can see behind each of them there are give me just a second. Sorry. Okay, so there you scan, like you in that psychic space, you are scanning that chamber, and you can see that there are 4 of these weird apparatuses. 3 of them are humanoid size, regular humanoid size, like the size to be able to house a human, a half elf, an elf. And they are these sort of like cruciform tables where the individuals are held down. You can't hear any sound, but you can see them writhing and screaming as they wrench against their restraints. And you can see that there is a silver thread extending out of the base of their neck towards a giant wheel of some kind that is being cranked by individuals on either side of the wheel. Individuals that look very much like Bap, probably enslaved individuals. The 4th one is twice the size of the other 3 and seems to house what you would assume to be a half giant. And there are also individuals turning a wheel that is pulling a thread out of the head of that half giant. In that room, you can see 3 other shadowy figures in cloaks, but there's something distinctly serpentine about those individuals when they turn. Just in the glint of the light, you can just make out either a pupil, a snout, a fang, some glint that gives you a suggestion that the way they move or who they are is somehow serpentine. Then the last thing that you are transmitted by BAP is this massive fucking chamber. which I believe that like I already kind of described, where you see the hundreds of individuals once again sitting there.
Chance?
No, you don't see Chance. You get this distinct feeling that what you're seeing is memory being transmitted to you.
Right.
And beyond that, it is more like several chambers being moved through. You see 2 posts where haggard individuals are being tortured as they are tied to posts in the middle of a large chamber by hooded figures.
All right. So, Bap, do you have any idea about how many of these Yanti are in that facility?
He says, there are several above in the tower. I believe maybe 4, perhaps 5. Down here.
So the
down here there is the pitmaster, and there is the Malays, and then there are the purebloods. I believe perhaps 12 in total. And then there are us. I think there might be 20 or so of us. I'm not sure.
And do you have any idea where the headmaster's chamber is? Whoever took the statue?
Yes. The master is in his own chambers. It looks out upon the brood chamber of the queen. Pitmasters is up a flight of stairs. It's a ladder, really, in the main chamber where the rest of the Yanti sleep and whip us when we have displeased us.
But it is usually only one who escorts you to check on the worms. Is that right?
It is usually either the pitmaster or the other Malays. The one, you know them by how they look. The pitmaster looks to be a man, but as you get closer, you can see that his arms are nothing but writhing snakes coming out from his cloak that he wears constantly. The other one who oversees the spinning, he is a serpent-headed man. And there are always 2. They called them brood gods. They are the most serpentine of them all. They are these snake men. Decrepit and horrifying. They exact a hideous toll as we extract the filament from them. We have a quota we must meet each day. Do you realize how much silk can be extracted from a single body after it has been completely desiccated by a worm, by a queen? All that's left is the mind and the pain and the screaming as we extract mile after mile after mile of thread.
Sounds horrible. We will do our best to save you from having to remain here any longer than you need to. If we can rescue you immediately, we will do so. Otherwise, we will wait for an opportunity for the Taskmaster to return you to this Silkworm cavern, and we will free you then. But
Okay.
in theory, my friends and I need time to discuss our plan. So please do your best to share whatever it is left you can about the place you have been, the environment, anything that we can, anything that gives us advantage or intelligence as we progress. Otherwise, I'm afraid I'm going to have to end my meta concert with you, and once I do so, I will not be able to reestablish it unless I see you again.
Okay. The best that he can do, because you get a sense that his mind really is shattered and broken. The best that he can do is give you like sort of a basic idea of the layout of this space. And he says to you that if you get to the tower, if you can find the tower, there is a trapdoor that leads down into the sleeping chamber of give me just a second. Okay. If you can find the tower and take care of the guards up there without alerting the rest, and there are usually 4 individuals, he says, up there on top of the mesa where the ruined tower is, that are the lookouts. There's also a switchback that leads up to the tower. If you head back the way you came, you should find the entrance into that switchback. It's hidden. They've hidden it quite well. But if you find it, you can go up there. You have to be careful. There have been stories amongst the slaves that there are traps all the way up towards the tower. But
Lovely.
If you can get to the top, there are usually only 2 to 4 purebloods, as they call them, guarding that broken ancient tower, which Geza has already seen from a distance once you were up at the top of the mesa. There is a trapdoor that leads down into the sleeping chamber of the second in command. They only know that individual as the Yanti Malasan. But that Malasan is always guarded by a couple other purebloods. And inside that sleeping chamber, there are weapons, there are accoutrements, and there's also the main entryway into the Silkworm Queen's chamber where all of the people are kept. It's also the entrance into the slave pen where all of his brethren are kept when they are not working. And it
About
is a
how many slaves?
There are 16 slaves currently. 8 work per shift.
Okay. So
there are 8 on, 8 off. And so anytime you'll find 8 of them in the slave pen. And it is a tiny, cramped space. It is awful. The other thing to keep in mind is that the Yanti do not need light to see. And so they only have torches within the cavern where the slaves need them. So the torches themselves, the only room that is actually well lit is what he calls the spinning room. And that's the room that he gets really fucked up about talking about. That's the one where they pull the filament. And just so you get the idea, like, he doesn't do a great job of explaining it, but at the end of it, you get a sense of what's really happening is that somehow the queen infects these hosts, and their entire internal structure slowly gets turned into silk somehow. And then once they're ready to harvest, they're brought into the spinning room and the filament is pulled out of them while they are alive. And then once the filament is completely pulled out, they die, but they are alive throughout pretty much the entirety of the process, because he says as soon as if somebody die, he says you will enter into the main chamber, which is just to the south of the bedroom of the Malison, and in there are 2 posts. They're pillories. It's also the room where the purebloods sleep and eat. But if there is punishment to be done against us, that is where it happens. And he says we are being punished constantly because we fail them constantly. Anytime somebody dies in the queen chamber, if somebody dies, the filament within them desiccates and hardens almost instantly and becomes useless. So the only way to harvest the silk, the individual must be alive during the process. And this is another thing he keeps saying over and over again. If you have ever been to a market and seen the highest grade silk, you will soon know where it comes from.
Ugh. So, as of now, are you working or are you in the pen?
He says, I am the foreman of the slaves. I oversee. I am working right now. They are currently putting your companion into the chamber. He will be connected to the queen soon. And once he's connected, it will be soon. It will not be long before there is no saving him. You may have an hour left before he is gone.
All right. Well, I don't know if we have an hour, but all right, Vap. I can't think of anything else that you can share with us that you haven't already done so. You have our gratitude and you have my word. I will do my very best to free you and the other slaves. For now, I must end our communication. I hope to reestablish it again with you very soon, but I will again need to see you before I can do that.
Yes. Please don't leave us here.
We will not. But for now, just know that we are plotting your freedom. We are coming, Bap. We will see you soon. Okay. And with that, I will end the meta concert because I bet you Ma'ak is just exhausted. Yeah. I have not since I've been with my pack have I used almost all of my psi points like in one day. Okay. So I'm pretty. I'm not completely tapped out, but I am really low, and I need to rest. So
did we lose Emelie?
I'm back, but yes, you did briefly.
Okay. Okay. So we're about that time. So as we wrap up tonight's session, what is going to be what's your next move? Let's set the stage for next time, basically.
Well, assuming that Ma'ak can share everything that he's learned, and we still have Meta Concert going, so now that I've ended it with Bap, I still have it going. I can share any memories that he had that I think are important, particularly the switchback, the tower, the trapdoor, the ladder, the sleeping chambers, any of that stuff. And also probably particularly the spinning room or whatever. You know, anything that I can to share intelligence with my clutch mates.
Yeah.
And then the idea is that Ma'ak needs to regain his strength, but then I'll be good to go. I only need 4 hours. As for the rest of you, I don't know how much you need, but it seems like Chance has already been placed in the chamber. So I don't know if it's too late for him, but time is of the essence.
Okay.
Is it too late for him? That's important.
Well, either way, he doesn't have your statue. The master does.
It's still important.
So is sleeping.
I don't disagree. If we can't do anything, we can't do anything. But if we can, we can. That's the truth.
Why do we want to save him?
He is a victim of his own stupid impulses. If we can free him, we can. If we can't, we can't. The truth is the truth.
I don't know. I personally don't want to risk my skin for him. If we get the statue back, he made his choices. Let him pay the price.
He did, but it's important to me that we have no choice.
I don't think we have any choice. We cannot go into battle as we are now. We need to rest. And
there's one other image that you get. I'm sorry. I should have been more explicit about this, Ma'ak. The image that is transmitted to you of the Queen Brood Chamber is one of just fucking water. Absolute, like a cavern filled with water.
And a big old worm in it, though, right?
Yeah.
And about 100 people pissing and shitting in it too, but you know.
Cool. Yeah.
Well, why don't we take
you do see very clearly in your mind when it's transmitted to you from BAP is a waterfall that leads into the cavern.
Oh,
well, now we're talking.
All right. Yeah,
I'm suddenly feeling a motivation I did not feel before.
And now, do we roll some sort of crafting skill to unpuncture our skins?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think that of all the treasures might be the most valuable one. If you want, I can go now. I mean, we can go.
I don't want, but I must if we can. It's important.
Well, we can. The question is, will we survive if we do it now?
More than if we will survive. Can he even possibly be removed from this situation?
I have no idea.
It is too much to gamble all of our lives in the hope of saving Ease. I say we rest, and after 8 hours. Well, what I'm saying is we should sleep on it.
I do not think we need 8 hours because we have already rested.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if Desi was, Emelie, if you were in for that, but BAP did say explicitly that once Chance was connected, he probably has an hour before he's assimilated.
But wait, when did we rest? Was I not there for that?
No, we were resting, and my pooping woke everyone up.
We did not rest.
Yeah,
in
you
any sort of
didn't.
full functional way.
This is the reason I had you guys roll for exhaustion, because you have not rested, and it is sunrise now.
I am currently tired. I don't feel at full capability, but if we have a chance to save someone who is indentured, I must.
Well, we will be able to save the people that are indentured. They're going to be there for a very long time. But we are all at disadvantage, and all of our spells and abilities are used up.
Yeah, I don't want to commit suicide for this jerk.
It would be suicide for a jerk.
It does seem like suicide.
For a jerk.
Chance is a fool. There's no doubt there. But he's a victim of circumstance. He's nothing more than someone who's trying to survive in the worst circumstances possible.
He betrayed us. I feel nothing for him.
I feel sympathy for him.
I feel sympathy for him too, but I'll feel sympathy for him when he's dead. We can't do this. If we go to try to save him and we're all exhausted, we're all going to die. And if I'm going to die, I'd rather die for one of you than someone who betrayed us and put us in this situation. That might sound harsh, but that's how I feel.
I can't disagree with that. Full faith, you're here and he's not. And I don't want to put you at risk because he put us at risk. What can we do right now to make sure that we're not discovered while we rest, though?
Well, Marc doesn't need to sleep.
Sure,
I don't need to sleep.
There's a worm running the course of this cavern. Can we actually hide it?
Or maybe leave it to deter people.
I don't think it will deter the other 7 worms that will come back with other victims. If we can't hide it, then we must continue.
I was like coming back to this cavern. I thought that they were located at different
There are
caverns.
8 hunters that return to this cavern. If we can't hide this one, then there is no point in resting because we will get no rest.
Is that right? I thought there were 8 caverns. Is there only one cavern, Aaron?
Okay, so there are technically 6 caverns. The way that Bap describes it, there is the cavern that you enter into from the tower, which leads you into the bedchamber of the Malison, the second in command. From there, from that chamber itself, there is a tunnel that leads off to the brood chamber, where Chance is being held. There is a chamber from that room that leads off into the slave pen. It is a small room that can house maybe 10 to 12 individuals at a time. From the south side of that room, it leads out into the main part of the cavern, where there is a large chamber which houses the primary sleeping quarters for the Yuan-Ti. It is the communal area. It's also the area where the slaves are punished. And from that chamber itself, there is a room that leads off to the north via a ladder that leads into the bedchamber of the pitmaster, the one who oversees all of this. He is the individual you learned from Bap, who was speaking to him directly when you overheard what was happening in the cavern below. So that was the pitmaster. And the pitmaster is a man with arms of snakes. And then there is the chamber that leads off to the west of the main sleeping chamber that leads into the spinning room. And inside the spinning room is where the silk is made.
But I think we're asking about where the caverns that the
Worms are
actually live in.
right.
Yeah,
Are
all the worms in this cavern, or are there other worm caverns that are not this one?
So there is the queen, and that you can access the queen's chamber from the tower. If you go down into the tower, into the sleeping chamber of the Malison, that leads into a tunnel that heads into the brood chamber. That is where Chance has been taken. That's where all of the victims are taken. That chamber itself is a gigantic room that is fed by a natural spring. Now, the hunters, like the one that you just encountered,
That's what
they exist outside of this complex. You cannot reach them from inside there. You have to access them from outside.
Is it this cavern? Do they all come to this one, or are there separate ones beyond this that have other worms in them? All we need to know is, will more worms be coming back here today?
To the one that you were just in? The one that you were just in? No.
The one we just killed? All right, fine. Then it doesn't matter.
That was a unique chamber for that particular hunter.
That is all we need to know. Because they are
we
not
can
coming
stay
back
there.
until tomorrow. Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, if there is no danger in this cavern, then I can't really put you in harm's way. We can't win. We can't win proceeding without arrest.
Precisely.
All right.
Okay.
But for now, where is that statue?
We don't know. I mean, I asked him to hide it. It seems like he didn't do it successfully enough. One of the Yanti found it, and it looks like it's been claimed by the master of the Yanti. So it's in his chamber now somewhere.
Yeah.
Hopefully he hasn't figured out what it's for, but, who knows?
At this be damned. Here we are.
I mean, here's the real question. I mean, and we have no idea because, maybe you do. But
just
the statue wasn't...
Sorry, I'm sorry, Rob. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Okay. Go ahead.
All right. So, because we don't know what the statue is necessarily for, but is there I guess the real question is, do you think the primer inside Crocus's statue is the same or even identical to the one you have? Because if it's different, it probably needs to be recovered. If it's identical, maybe you could part with it.
That was
and
the
not have to
different
recover
one,
it.
that we didn't understand what it was.
Honestly, Aaron, do I think it's different?
I mean, I'm not even going to make you roll an insight check for this. You know it's different because of the emphasis he put on, like, keeping it safe.
Okay.
So
Then
it's different than
forget it.
it's different than what I have, and it's different from what Crocus has.
Well, it was Crocus's, but yeah.
Well, it's Crocus's.
No,
it's
no,
different
no.
from yours and Chance's.
Right. That's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is not what I have. If it was another copy of what I have, then I would say more power to them. We should all know this. But it's not. It's different, and we have to recover it.
But then if we're safe in this cavern, why don't we eat and sleep and butcher the worm? I suggested in the chat using some of its plates as shields because they're obviously light and durable. And then go after them after we're rested. I feels like we're belaboring the point here. The only option is we need to rest. And since it's the end of the session, it's the perfect time for us to go to sleep.
That's true. And to be more specific, if our water skins are punctured, we should address that as well before we do anything with this body.
Well, we can sew them up. And
certainly, yes.
Yeah. And just so you know, I shared a new screen. So just so you know who's being left behind. What hunk of flesh is being left behind?
Chance is the Rocketeer?
Yeah.
Chance is a handsome man.
Okay,
yeah,
we went through this last time.
Forget everything. Let's go get him.
I want him to be free of even his own bad decisions, but ultimately it can't be at the expense of our entire group.
We can't save him if we can't save him.
I am spent. I used the extent of my abilities to create water for all of us, and he stole that water. And he stole
everything that was meant to go to other places. He knew exactly what he was doing, and I don't forgive him of that. But if we had the ability to save him, I would, and we do not. It's been proven to me. I understand where we are, and
Does
we
he
have to accept
do keep in mind that he stole 1.5 gallons, not your entire water supply.
He stole the majority of our water skins.
Well, not a majority. He stole maybe 1/3 of your water.
Yeah, but he stole all of mine.
No,
I take that personally.
He took most from Ma'ak.
And Craucus.
No, he didn't take any from me,
He
right?
didn't take any from
No.
you?
No, because
No,
I
he
was
took
awakened.
he took the majority of it from Cha'ar, and the actual majority came from Ma'ak.
Well, I find that personally less offensive. I'm not gonna approve of it.
Desi, what? Sorry, Desi, what would you do?
Sleep, have I not been saying?
Yeah.
Then we must sleep. It is the right course of action.
And
I can't disagree. It's
Yeah, then good. Then we're doing it.
all
You
right.
can't stop talking, Giza.
Jesus,
All right.
Mary and Joseph.
Then you all get rest, and I will butcher this silkworm and prepare your meal for when you wake. I will watch over you as you sleep, but I do need to spend time to my devotions to recover my strength as well.
Do we need to do some sort of fucking crafting roll for our punctured skins or any of that shit?
I assume Ma can just fix them,
And-
right? I mean, that's pretty simple.
Just use some of the guts, like the guts of the worm, and use that to sew, like you use cat gut for a tennis racket.
yeah, or there's all this sticky resin from the silk. I can, probably use that.
Are we sure it's sticky resin?
It could be
It's-
sticky resin.
I mean, it's been pretty erotic in this cave, right?
I mean, yeah,
I've been feeling
we
this
do have a
enormous worm
70-foot
for a
worm and
while.
a 70-foot worm in a deep dark hole is pretty Freudian.
It was writhing a lot there at the end. Yeah.
We've been wrestling with this long worm for a while.
Yeah.
And we've used the phrase "just the tip" like 4 times today.
Okay, so we need to log off for today. So this is where we'll leave it. You guys hunker down in the cavern of the silkworm that you managed to kill, and even though that you know that this may be curtains for Chance, you know that Chance made his own bed, and he's got to lie in it. And so, you know that even if you hope to save him or anyone else, you have to do it on basically a full stomach. You got to get rest, and you have to replenish yourself, because otherwise you're no good to anyone. So, you're set up for the night.
To be clear, can we talk about the water skins? Is that a solved problem?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Water skins, solved problem?
Well, I mean, other than the water that you were carrying on you, the water skins that were on Chance are useless. They're left
Can't
behind.
be repaired.
I mean, you can fix them, but
Yeah,
they're
that's what we wanna do.
empty. In terms
But
of, they're empty though. There's no water left in them.
But when
do
we
have to
find that
roll
waterfall, we
fix
want to.
them?
Yeah, we just want to be able to
you can
use
fix
them.
you can fix the water skins. They're just punctured from the jostling and from
Dope.
him being dragged across the desert. So you can fix the water skins. You will be able to reuse them. So you can spend some of your time this night fixing those water skins, plugging the holes. There's a common how in other D&D settings you would have common items in your survival kit, such as flint and steel and all that kind of stuff. a common item in Dark Sun to have in your survival kit is a substance called bitumen. And for those of us who went to art school or were in art history classes, you might remember what bitumen is. But bitumen is basically primitive tar. It is a waterproof substance that was used for all kinds of things. It was used for adhering tiles to walls in cities, but it was also used to as a mortar. It was used to waterproof leather, to create leather skins. So bitumen, which is like kind of a very hard black tarry substance, is something that you would have in your survival kits. So amongst the group of you, you probably have enough bitumen to be able to repair your water skins. Of course, it needs a heat source to heat up and melt, so that it becomes
anybody with the power of heat.
Yeah, usable. So all you have to do is just heat it up, and it runs into a very thick tar substance. You can basically you can pack it into your water skin, plug the hole temporarily. It'll get you where you need to go for the next. Why can't we
use some of the silk and sew them up, and then just use the bitumen on the outside?
You start to realize that the silk that you find in this cave requires skill beyond your ability to use. It needs to be woven into a thread to begin with, and you don't know how to do that with what you have on hand. Anytime, like anything that you try to do, I mean, you can grab clumps of it and stick it onto the outside of your water skin, and that seems to work fairly well, but it does seem to dissolve. It does start to dissolve once you put water. Yeah,
because I don't want to drink tar. Then why don't we just, when we're butchering the worm, use its bladders? They're already pre-made water bags. It's got to have some bladders in them.
You can do that. You could give me
that seems quicker and smarter than the other one.
And you could give me a water skin. You could give me a survival check on that.
Yeah, roll a bladder check.
roll survival for this one.
You want me to do it since I'm probably the one butchering it anyway?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, sure.
Yeah, whoever's doing it. Yeah.
Oh, I survived.
I'm gonna go get you a nice bladder. Here we go.
I survived so good.
Oof. You did
I'm good
much
at
better
surviving,
than me,
bro.
Nice. So Geza rolled a 22, I rolled a 7.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, like, you can put all of your survival skills to use, and you can do a combination of techniques. Part of it is heating up bitumen, which you actually do find out works very well if you mix it with the silk. Creates a very efficacious patch.
Okay, I'm confused. We can't use the silk for thread because we don't know how, but we're mixing it with the bitumen?
Yeah, because you're melting it and it creates you're basically dissolving it into the bitumen tar, and it creates an even better patch that sticks even, because the problem with bitumen is it is it's a temporary fix. It will eventually dry, harden, and flake off. This, however, when you mix it with the silk, seems to actually bleed into the leather itself and creates a patch that you're pretty sure will probably stay for the course. The problem that you are starting to realize, however, is that especially you, Desi, is that this silk from these so-called hunters is not the same silk that you're used to trading in. And you're getting the sinking sensation that the silk that you're used to trading in is the stuff that's taken out of
Humanoid
people
brains.
being the brains of the humans being tortured
Brain
right
silk.
It's that good.
Yeah. And this is one of those things like in Athos, the source of commodities typically is not well known. So you're starting to get a sense of where the source of silk really comes from, especially high grade silk. As far as this stuff that you're encountering, it might be some of the lower grade stuff that you're used to, but you're still not exactly sure how it's processed to make it into thread.
It's people.
Soylent silk.
I was going to say that. God damn it. You beat me to it. So, okay.
Mark, bonus XP.
Yeah.
What?
Just take it.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. I meant Rob.
Yeah. Rob.
Mark, you don't get
Rob,
bonus XP
Rob
for Rob's hilarious joke.
Okay. So, having said that, let's leave it there for this evening. You guys hunker in for the night, and you believe you get a sense. You stay in contact with BAP. I can't. Oh,
Okay. Let's talk about this actually.
Okay.
Because rules. This is 5e stuff, so the rules aren't super clear. In second edition, with the what MindLink is based on, the initial ability Contact was not limited by space, and I didn't even need to see the person. If I just knew them, I could contact them. So it was almost like just ringing them up on a cell phone. I'm actually not a huge fan of that. Just mechanically speaking, like in theory, then I could just call anybody I ever met. I like the second edition rule where like first I have to establish it, and then I have it for as long as I have it.
Right.
In theory, as long as I continue to pay the 2 psi points per hour, I could maintain Metaconcert. But in theory, I need 4 hours of light activity. That is the equivalent of a long rest for a Thri-Kreen. And I'm not sure if you would rule. I don't even know if I would rule continuing to pay PSP or psi points is the equivalent of light activity. Honestly, it's just communication. It really is simple. But in theory, like, do I still get my points back and stuff? It seems like I would almost say, no, Mog needs some time to just meditate and recover.
You do need to disconnect for 4 hours, but you can wait. So everybody else needs 8 hours to get a full recovery. You can kind of wait. So you can get a few final moments of contact with BAP in. So if there's any more questions that you want to ask before we wrap up for tonight, ask them now.
I can't think of anything specifically, but what Ma'ak would do with these 4 hours, because he has it, right? It's almost like, walk me through. Like, where should I go? First, second, third. Go to this place. Look at this place. Here's where someone will be hiding. So basically, just almost like a walkthrough of our adventure, for like, so the next time I know what to expect before we even go through that door. You know what I mean? And that's where I would like to get super tactical, so that we can 1-2 punch this when it almost like a SEAL team kind of thing. You know what I mean?
He can't. First of all, he can't tell you anything about the switchback that leads up to the tower, other than that he knows that there are traps along the way, and he knows that there are usually 4 or 5 purebloods who guard at the tower, and they can see all the way down the switchback. So as you go up, you are vulnerable to attack from them, not only to the traps that they have set. And again, he's only ever heard of these traps discussed vaguely, so he doesn't know what type of traps they might be. Once you get past there's a trapdoor that leads down into the bedchamber of the Malasan, which is the second in command. You will know him by his snake head. He is the only one of all of the Yuan-Ti who has the head of a cobra. There are two brood guards who oversee the spinning room, along with the Malison. The Malison is usually in the spinning room, overseeing the spinning. So the three of them, the brood guards, are snake abominations, as he says, and he can't tell you much more than that. But there are usually 8 of his enslaved companions working in the spinning chamber. There are 4 looms. There are 3 looms for individuals of our size, and there is 1 loom for individuals of your friend's size, the half giant. They can extract 5 times the amount of silk from a half giant than they can from one of us. They can typically get 45 to 50 miles of thread out of one of us. They can get over 300 miles of thread out of a half giant. And so half giants are coveted. So your friend must be careful, because as soon as they see him, they will attempt to capture him.
That's good intelligence, though. Perhaps we can lay a trap if we need to.
Yeah.
How many feathers do we have? Because we could do a Trojan horse thing with Crocus, and if he's got those poison feathers.
Maybe.
Now, hold on. I'm not done telling you what Bap tells you.
Okay.
What happens in the brood chamber? He basically tells you that when someone like your companion is captured, and typically it is not captured by the hunters, the Yanti themselves have been raiding caravans recently, and so they have increased their store, and he himself helped to establish this trade little less than a month ago, and already they have over 500 individuals in the brood chamber being converted into silk. And so when somebody is captured, they are taken into the brood chamber, and the queen injects them with their filament, and it begins to overtake their body, first through their... it's dark sense, so how much do they really know about physiology? Basically, what he tells you is that slowly the filament from the queen will inject itself into the body and convert the individual into silk. The individual stays alive if they are allowed to go through the entire process. They will be consumed and turned into a hunter worm, but they are prevented from doing that. They sever the cord and they harvest the silk, taking them into the spinning room, and they will attach the thread to the loom, and they will pull it out from the individual inch by inch. It takes 2 slaves to turn the wheel. They have to work 24 hours a day, and the individual must be alive and conscious during the entire process. If they die during the process or before the process, the filament, the silk itself, begins to crystallize and to turn into something that he says is akin to docile.
Interesting.
And so they have to be very careful. If a victim dies before they can harvest the silk, they end up in the pillory. Right now, there are 3 individuals in the pillory, he says. And And so he says it's horrifying. It's horrifying. The screams are constant. The Yuan-ti seem to have absolutely no concern for the suffering of his brethren, so yeah, that's basically it. When you come in, like again, so in terms of like rooms, like he gets really, he's not doing a good job of completely explaining the rooms, but like he keeps coming back and says, when you go down from the tower, you will enter into the bedchamber of the Malisan. From there, it will lead out to the Queen's chamber, to the slave pit, and then out into the main chamber. You will immediately go out into the main chamber. That's where the pillory is. From the main chamber, there is a ladder that leads up into the pitmaster's chambers. There are windows up there. I have not been up there, but I have heard that there are windows that overlook the brood chamber, and then there is another doorway that leads into the spinning room from that main sleeping chamber. And then if you go all the way down to the south of that room, that is the main exit out of the cave itself that leads into the cavern that I had to go through, that I told you not to go into, because that leads into the main entrance into the cavern complex itself. But that's the main exit. That's the way they leave. That is the way that they take out the silk. The silk is removed in large clay pots by pounds, and just so you understand the horror of this place, one bolt of silk that you might buy in the elven markets or in any markets in Tyr or Uruk, 100 yards, 4 foot wide, takes 100 of us to create. 100 people must be utterly desiccated and spun to create one bolt of silk fabric for the elites of our cities.
I'm so sorry. I gotta go.
Okay. And well, wait. But that's a great place to leave it. 100 individuals is what it takes to create one bolt of silk. These are the stakes.
That's ghastly. All right, Bap, fear not. We are coming.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Goodbye, everyone.
All right.
All right. Thanks, all.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
thanks all. And 2 weeks from now, we will return and figure out and find out what happens to the horrifying silk mill of the Yuan-ti in
2 weeks.
In
Rocky,
2 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
We also will learn how to dye the silk as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And how much it's worth.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2 weeks we will find out what it takes to end the horrifying Yuan-ti silk trade here in the Rocky Badlands northeast of here. Thank you for watching.
Thanks, all.